You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumho Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. The new quarter pounder range at Macca's.
Hayden couldn't get boots a ball and allowed Waitman to receive the handball to Bontempelli. 45 out and holds up in the breeze and just gets there.
This one's holding the ball. Toby McMullen gets the free kick. He runs around onto his right foot. He's given it a good hit and he's done very, very well, Toby McMullen. His kick inside 50, partially smothered. Here goes Gallagher. Has a ping. Has a great shot at goal. Cops it up to Keith. Has to be quick here, Hogan. Inside 50. Toby Green's taken the mark.
As we recommence things, final term, Dogs by 11 points. Is Jordan Canellis.
1 quarter to go in this match here, which has a big implication on the finals. Inside 50, right off the opening bounce for the Dogs. Here goes Richards in the pocket, pulls the kick across the face of goal, and he's got it. His second, Ed Richards. It comes mere seconds into the last quarter. Just 22 seconds on the clock at the time that he hit that. One quick clearance into the left forward pocket and Richards sized it up running towards the boundary line. And the Dogs, the perfect way to start the fourth term. They go to 10-10-70. The Giants 8-5-53.
Well, it's a simple game, isn't it? We see, if you could script it any better, win the centre clearance, get it long and deep into even numbers and put your backman, your opposing backman under enormous pressure, and that's what they're able to do. Libba continues to go on, starts the fourth, how he finished the third, being dominant at clearance. His centre bounce set up that goal to Ed Richards.
Scott Lucas alongside Jordan Canellis and Matthew Cox on AFL Nation this afternoon. Final term from Mars Stadium. Daniel Treloar, Richards, and now Bontempelli. Handball across to McNeil. 45-degree angle, 45 out, offline minus score. Margin now 18 points on the Host Plus scoreboard. 10-11-71 plays, 8-5-53. Approaching 2 minutes in this final quarter as the Giants bring it back into play. Buckley underneath it, almost the strong grab. Gives a handball to Whitfield, who has to do a U-turn and then pokes it very short to Kelly. But he plays on. High ball, Green coming, can't take the mark because the big man, English, was standing in his way, standing his ground, and takes the intercept mark. Dogs fans want 50, but they don't get it. He'll go back defensive side of the broadcast wing.
He'll heave the Dogs down inside 50 with a big kick towards Ugle-Hagan. Drops on his head, can't take the mark. Iden links up with a 1-2 with Tom Green. Gets it back, handballing forward over the AFL logo. Callaghan just got the footy away as he was chased down. The Giants are streaking forward. Here's Darcy Jones, inside 50 to Hogan, who's taken the grab. He wants to poke it further inside quickly. He does. He finds Ward. Takes the mark. 35 to 40 metres out, just right of true centre half forward for a set shot attempt here, Callan Ward.
A good build-up, and one of the great features of Jesse Hogan's game is his unselfish play, and we saw that once again there, not needing to blaze away, but to find a player in a better position. Fantastic kick.
Scored a goal in each of his last 2 games, Callan Ward's. The set shot, he's hit it all right, and the goal umpire works across to the left late. Behind for Ward to add to their tally. So 71 plays 54 now, and it's 17 points the difference on the Host Plus scoreboard in this last term.
English takes the mark, gives the handball off to Dale, running past, searching for Ugle-Hagan, knocked away from him by Buckley. Brown pokes it back inside 50. English filling the hole, takes the mark, and he'll poke it short to Duray. At half-back on the broadcast side, as the lights are just starting to take effect here at Mars Stadium as it becomes increasingly overcast and gloomy. Still no rain, though. Gallagher towards right half forward, comes out the back. Perryman feeds the handball to Callaghan, trying to escape Bontempelli. Will get the 1-2 with Perryman, takes a bounce, running through centre half back, spots Briggs in the midfield but can't take it. He has to apply the tackle and did well to close down any opportunity the Dogs had to repel. Ball up just beside the centre circle.
Strong tackle from Briggs. Good corridor cover by the Dogs, pushing back. Callaghan coming through, they were able to slow him down and force him to kick to the Dogs.
Treloar hammers a high kick inside 50. Norton's pushed his opponent under the footy and couldn't get on the end of it. And he's actually given away a free kick as a result of that push. Around the grounds for the drain man. Clears and relines without damage. Carlton and St Kilda coming up at the conclusion of this game. And a late out for the Blues. Mitch McGovern is out of the team. So another tall player lost for Carlton, already without, of course, Curnow and Mackay. Taylor's kick out of defensive 50 out to the wing. Hogan lost it through the air. Picked up by Ward on the outer side. Just a few steps in from the boundary. Elevates the kick up the line. Cadman and Jones both underrun the footy. Cadman does well second time around. Hands over to Peatling. Now to Toby Green. Just outside the 50. Has a long range attempt at goal. Has it bounce on the goal line and go through. Toby Green starting to wind it up. He has 2 goals now either side of the 3-quarter time break and answers back to Richard's goal from a moment earlier to bring the margin again back to 11 points.
And just Callum Brown getting a hand in, just bringing that ball to ground. DeRay possibly needed to get rid of it quicker. Didn't think he was under as much pressure as he actually was, but ground cover players, we saw Peatling involved and get that across with a strong handball. An accurate handball to Toby Green and a wonderful kick in a similar position to Bont. So what we see is captains leading from the front and giving their teams a chance.
5.5 travelled final term. Dogs lead by 11 points. GWS kicking into the breeze. Briggs the tap out the back. English will do the crumbing. Puts it high towards centre half forward. Whitfield knocked out of his grasp. Bontempelli can't escape the tackle. Releases the handball. Darcy goes to ground and then they pile in on top of him. Ball up just inside 50 for the Dogs. As it is very dark now here at Mars Stadium. Briggs the tap to Tom Green. Callaghan caught by Waitman. Treloar Supermaning style, got the handball to McRae. Duray loads up inside 50. Taylor was infringed by Darcy in the contest and will win the free kick in the back pocket on the outer side for the Giants, who trail by 11 points. A high ball towards the wing. Duray underneath it, didn't complete the mark. Bramble front and centre, fed the handball to Daniel, who runs out of room. We'll throw it in almost centre wing on the outer side. Dogs 10-11-71. Giants 9-6-60 for Host Plus.
The rain hasn't come yet here at Mars Stadium. It feels like it's raining all around Ballarat except for here. So dry for the time being, but very dark, light vanishing. Here's Briggs, gets the handball up the wing towards Green. Now to Cornelio. There are orange shirts streaming forward. Ward, hospital handball. Daniel tackled him. Ball jarred free. Richards to Arthur Jones. Now to Treloar. Feeds it forward. Collected on the half volley. Waitman to Daniel. Skitters around the centre square. Kicks sideways to McRae. Found the best and smartest option to maintain possession for the Dogs. McRae inside 50. Norton flew early, but Buckley came across and punches it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in forward pocket. Inside 50, the Dogs. 10-11-71, the Western Bulldogs. To the Giants, 9-6-60 for Host Plus in this last term. We've gone nearly 8 minutes in the quarter. And now a boundary throw-in. Bulldogs fans getting vocal here in the dying stages. Still plenty of time to go, but last quarter of this contest. English's tap falls only to Ward, and now the Giants can build up through defensive 50. Iden's kick is cut off by Long. Takes the mark on the wing. The Dogs back on the footy.
Man who's resurrected his career in 2024. Goes inside 50. The kick let him down.
Yeah, too shallow, wasn't it? Needed to be deeper. Needed to give his tall forwards a chance.
Ward took the intercept mark. Feeds it off to Perryman. Goes wide with a kick. Trundles out of play in front of Cadman.
Oh, man. Artie Jones was the closest dog to the drop zone of that ball. That needed to be Darcy, Norton. English is pushed down there, or Jamara on the end of it.
And even the previous inside 50 before that, Norton was telling go up, put it in higher.
It was a shallow kick from McRae. Go deep, go to the coalface and be aggressive with your entries.
Dogs by 11. Richards clearing kick from the boundary. Throw in. Arthur Jones being harassed. Play on the call. Waitman. Liberatore offline. Minor score. 9 travelled final term for Host Plus. Dogs now by 12. Jeez, how would the draw impact things? Well, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. I turned myself off.
Kick from the Giants out of defensive 50 to the near side. And a good mark by Hogan, who's playing a bit up the grounds of the last few minutes.
Starting to use him as their exit out of the back line, and with hands like that, great decision.
Hogan goes down the wing. Brown got a little shove from behind. No free kick. And off hands, off the pack. James O'Donnell in there for the Dogs. And out of play for a boundary throw-in as Toby Green comes back off the Crowds Electrical and Solar interchange bench onto the field. Throw-in right in front of us here on the broadcast side in the grandstands. Thrown in. Keefe does the ruck work, a little backhand down, but Daniel was there first. Loops a handball over the top to Bontempelli. Stretches and kicks inside 50. It was too tall for Waitman, and Iden came over the top and swats it over for a boundary throw-in.
1 goal each in this quarter. The area of concern for the Giants, other than going into the breeze clearances, are 7-2. So the Dogs have continued their dominance around the ball, and never more evident than when we saw the composure of Caleb Daniel on the ground, first to the ball, but then able to feed it out to Bontempelli.
Running repairs for Adam Trelaw's left ankle on the Crowds bench, as it was from the start of the game. He's had a few issues from quarter number 1. Off the throw-in, the Giants cleanly away. Haynes kicks out of defensive 50. It's intercepted by McNeil.
Just needed to be in front, McMullen then.
He's at left half forward, McNeil. 60 from home. Right-footed kick to the hot spot. They fly. Norton's there. Headband comes off. Underneath it, Himmelberg paddles it along the ground, and a free kick going the way of the Giants, with Himmelberg's efforts getting him rewarded.
Dogs fans getting very vocal at their home away from home in Ballarat. Dark, gloomy conditions, but still no rain. Himmelberg pumps it out of defensive 50 towards the outer wing. Off hands, front and centre. Ward brought down in a crunching tackle by Waitman. Over the boundary line it goes. We'll throw it in. Between centre wing and half forward on the outer side of Mars Stadium. A packed hill still gathered around. 12-point lead to the Dogs. Callaghan clearing kick from the restart. Puts it towards the wing. It ricocheted off boots. Back towards the contest. Canelio gave it to Ward, who's dumped into the turf yet again. Ooh. Oh, don't tell me. Now, it'll be a ball up. We just had some lightning. So don't tell me for the second time this weekend we're going to have issues with lightning, which will throw the schedule all out of whack for this afternoon. What a weird and wonderful weekend of footy we've had. Still no rain, light towers in effect, and now a rumble of thunder.
Well, you know what they say about thunderbolts and lightning.
I'm very, very frightened. I couldn't even spit that out. I'm turning myself off again.
And we also have places to be, so we hope it doesn't continue.
Play goes on for the time being, so the umpire's not at the moment too interested, but I'm sure the match officials behind the scenes are moving furiously. There'll be a boundary throw in. There's no rain. There was just a little crackle of lightning from behind. Thrown in. Darcy does the right work on the wing. Bats it forward. Tom Green latches onto it first. Here's Perryman. Cuts his way through the traffic with a sidestep and then kicks out towards the boundary at right half forward. Cadman the target. Liam Jones all over him. Brought down front and centre, and it's stopped on the wing for a ball up, which the ruckman trudge over to. Darcy does the right work, but it's taken by Canelio, who backsteps out of the traffic, then kicks it inside 50. Collected by Cadman, over to Green, right half forward, swings it to the goal square. McMullen's there, but beaten to it by Fraser, who marks at the top of his defensive goal square, and he'll calm things down. bats the air and kicks out sideways to Caleb Daniel in the back pocket. The Dogs lead by 2 goals. 72 plays 60, and we have travelled 14 minutes here in the last quarter for Tyre Power Best on Road.
Long ball towards the outer wing. Giants with the numbers at the fall of the Sharon. Himmelberg pops it to half forward. Kelly takes the mark. His eyes lit up momentarily, but elects to go back on the mark. Now winds up and goes from just outside 50 towards the top of the square. Hogan flew, came out the back, goes through for a minor score. Giants move to 9-7-61, trailing the Dogs 10-12-72 for Host Plus.
A long-range kick in from Dale. Goes out to the wing. They fly. McNeil, a little handball along the ground to Gallagher. Handballs backwards to Bontempelli from the wing. He swings it into the centre square. Great kick, great vision to find Arthur Jones, who goes back quickly, then launches it forward to Norton, who marks top of the goal square, plays on and kicks the goal. Aaron Norton having to backpedal, took the mark, a little off balance, but swiveled forward, and from a couple of metres out, scores his second goal of the day and puts the Dogs back in front by 17 points.
All about the Bontempelli kick, all about his vision to see Jones in the middle of the ground, which opened up the field of play. It made it more difficult for defenders to know whether a player, in Norton's case, would lead left, would lead right, or would head back to goal. He was able to lengthen with the benefit of the breeze. The depth of kick was able to get to him. Fantastic kick then by Jones. Good hands by Norton. And rather than go back and sweat on a kick with a bit of breeze, he thought he'd play on and just toe poke it through.
As they're going for the ponchos in the outer, the rain has finally arrived. 16 minutes into the final term. Giants will get a free kick for holding from the centre stoppage. And it'll be Cornelio with the ball in his hands. Gives the handball to Iden running past. Goes towards the top of the 50 arc at right half forward. Darcy getting back, claiming the mark, and is paid as that rain becomes a little heavier now.
That goal came at the crucial time as well, with the rain now here.
Just puts a bit more of a buffer for the Bulldogs. 17-point leaders they are. Norton cleans up on the wing, hooks it to half forward. Iden, awkward handball for Whitfield, mown down by McRae, going nowhere. And it'll be a free kick the way of the Giants. Was it a crude tackle? It must have been. They go to Callaghan on the outer wing, defensive side of it, to Whitfield, and now they've got run through Taylor and Peatling.
He goes with a shortish kick, and it's favoured 2 Bulldogs. Off hands, though, the Giants have picked it back up through Kelly. Left foot kick, he's sort of cushioned it inside 50. A soft kick towards Brown. Picks it up in the right forward pocket. Swings it to full forward, and Liam Jones. Another brave mark from the Dogs defender at full back. Fraser a few minutes ago, now Liam Jones saves the day. He rolls out to the broadcast side and heaves it long. Waitman and Norton are there. Norton collects it off hands. Daniel will kick it up the edge of the centre square. Yep. Arthur Jones takes 50. The mark, and 50. Yep. Listen to the roar for Arthur Jones from the Dogs fans in Ballarat. They love him.
You'd think he's a local. I mean, it's certainly a very pro-Bulldogs crowd, but there just seems to be a little bit more favour for Arthur Jones. And since he's come on as the sub-player, he's been a valuable contributor. Not a lot in that, but he had completed the mark. Haynes wasn't in the contest, gave him a push straight in front of the umpire. A relatively easy decision for the umpire to make.
The man on the mark, Connor Iden, is about 35 to 40 metres out. Arthur Jones gives himself a long runway. He comes in, his first game of the season, in the last round of the season, and Arthur Jones has slotted his goal. And the Dogs fans love it. In the last quarter, to get them back to a 23-point lead, a crucial goal at a crucial time for a much-loved player. And the Western Bulldogs extend their leads. They go to 12-12-84. The Giants 9-7-61. And the Bulldogs now can feel it. They can feel finals in a couple of weeks.
Their field kicking has led to their goals far more than for the Giants, and the way that they set that up, it was Caleb Daniel lowering his eyes. The previous goal was Bontempelli lowering his eyes, spotting up a free target. They've been very smart with the way they've gone about the game today.
Briggs knocked it to the front of the contest. Tom Green to Peatling inside 50. Ball to the deck. Halloran goes to the ground trying to slap it forward, and there'll be a free kick away of the Dogs, and it will be O'Donnell that receives it in the back pocket on the outer side. I'm assuming it was a tangling of the legs or a trip of some sort that gave him the free kick towards the wing. Darcy flew but went underneath it. Haynes sends the ball back towards centre half forward. English backing back into traffic. Takes a strong contested mark. His inclusion today has been worth its weight in gold. He's been phenomenal.
He's been phenomenal, and he's also released lob back to the back line to play on Hogan and Cadman.
Ball to the wing. Giants with the numbers, but they can't pick up the Sharon. It's a little slippery at the moment. Trelaw fixed the handball back to Richards. Williams calling for someone to come at him. Drives it inside 50. No one home apart from Himmelberg, who dropped what he should have taken. Opens the door. Darcy. Himmelberg interrupted his handball path. Fell to Liberatore. Snapping goal. Livers kicked a goal and kicked the Dogs into September. There's still 7 minutes remaining in the final term. But the Dogs are out to a 29-point lead. 13-12-90, plays 9-7-61. Time on final term for Saleh. Seconds can be the difference between life and death. Make a difference with Saleh. And there was a bit of push and shove after it as well, Scotty Lucas.
I mean, Libba finished off the work then, but it was his contest on the wing earlier where he didn't get the ball, but he prevented the Giants from getting a clear takeaway. It's just his want and ability to just put pressure on opponents. When he doesn't have it, there's just a wonderful attribute. And he got a reward for his efforts today. He's been outstanding, and it was a great goal. So we've seen the finesse to get the Arthur Jones goal and the Norton goal with precision play. We've seen Richards and Libba kick goals just from pure want and effort.
A huge stretch here for the Dogs. 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes as we enter time on. And that is your big moment of the match for Bendix Brakes. Put your foot down with confidence. Bendix Brakes, the Dogs, 29-point leaders, game high margin, and on the way to September. As there's a ball up on the outer wing, offhands takes a touch and a trundle, and out of play for now for a boundary throw-in. We've played 22 minutes here in the last quarter, and there's still a good 6.5 to go. English and Keefe doing the ruck work from the throw. Keefe knocks it down front and centre. Green overruns the footy, had it and got bumped off it. Trelaw to Liberatore out towards Williams, and then English will send a high ball. He's whacked it all the way inside 50. Arthur Jones is there as well. Taylor had a piece of him, just let go before the umpire could blow the whistle. It spills out to Daniel, who'll dribble it through the goal square for another one. He was hanging around off the side of the pack, Caleb Daniel, like a good small player should. And he skidded it straight through the goal square and in for a goal. Caleb Daniel, just his second goal of the season. And the Dogs now 35-point leaders. They've kicked 5 goals to 1 in the third term on the stat sheet. In the fourth term, this is for Signet. Head to iCanWin.com.au.
With conditions such as this, it's almost the perfect build-up. Long into your tall forwards. Your forwards compete hard. They bring the ball to ground. They apply pressure, and your small forwards get to their feet. That's what Caleb Daniel did. His decision-making is elite, and his ball use, just knowing to kick it along the ground, keep it low, it'll skid straight. Don't have the breeze involved if you don't need it. Wonderful goal.
Waitman in the midfield, clearing kick inside 50. Arthur Jones is going to get a free kick. It's all going the way of the Bulldogs in this final term. They're running hot for Ream, Australia's favourite hot water. And Arthur Jones will line up pretty much directly in front. Man on the mark stands 40 metres out. The sub activated this afternoon early in the game for Latham Vandermeer, who was subbed out with hamstring tightness or hamstring awareness, whichever one you want to go with. Arthur Jones lining up for his second in his first game of the season. Crosses the 50 arc. Kick on its way from 45 and it's to the left. Minor score, 36-point margin now in favour of the Dogs. For Host Plus is being named Money Magazine's best super fund for 2024. That's a plus, issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Check the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au.
The Giants from fullback. The game beyond them now. It's out to Callahan. It's the right back flank. He gets underneath it. A high kick out to the wing, and underneath it, Lobb had a good piece of it, just lost it as he came back down to earth. Paddles it backwards, looking for English. And Liam Jones, I beg your pardon. It'll be a ball up on the logo on the far side of the ground. Ball thrown up. Here comes English. Leaps all the way over the top and belts it up towards half forward. Gallagher's there, soccers it off the ground. It hits Waitman in the shins and bounces back to Gallagher. Now they're all trying to soccer it off the deck. Waitman does well, picks it up, over to Gallagher. He gives out the candy, takes the bounce. Kick off the side of the boot, looking for Arthur Jones. Himmelberg just nipped his way in front. Darcy Jones, no look, handball. And Cadman will hammer it away back into the centre circle, where Lobb this time holds the mark. He kicks quickly out towards the flank, puts it into the path of Bailey Dale. It sits up for him nicely. Fakes, almost fell over himself. Gets back to his feet and delivers coolly to Ed Richards at centre half forward. Maybe a fraction beyond his range. He'll run out to the left and he'll set it up to the top of the goal square. Waitman was looking for it through the air, but never climbed the step ladder, and off the knuckles of Sam Taylor, out through for a rush behind. The Dogs now 14-14-98 to the Giants 9-7-61. 37-point leaders on the Host Plus scoreboard here in the last term, where we've played 26 and a half minutes.
Giants push it towards the wing. Kelly almost put it out on the full, and then it dribbled over the line in the end, and it's been paid insufficient intent. As the sun breaks through ever so slightly to the gloomy conditions that now surround Ballarat and Mars Stadium. Long ball back towards half forward. Ugle-Hagan came late to the contest, brought the ball to ground. Giants with numbers. Whitfield to Taylor, evading traffic. Handball awkward for Cornelio. Fed it to Green. His handball smothered. And there's a free kick going the way of the Giants. Tom Green will be the recipient. Half back on the outer side. With the Smarter Light environmental exit signs replay. Good for you, good for the planet. Smarter Light environmental exit signs. Green's kick towards the wing, almost a mark to Hogan, came to ground. Brown to Callahan, tried to beat it back to Brown, but it was a stray. Liberatore claimed by Brown. Ball came out to Richards, Bramble, O'Donnell, Gallagher running through the middle of Mars Stadium. Inside 50 for Norton. Takes the mark, left forward pocket, 20 metres out. And we'll go back and line up for his second.
Just lost their structure forward of the ball, the Giants, and the Dogs are able to set up exactly how they would like, win the ball back and then go aggressively forward. Norton all out on his own.
Comes around, snaps it very high and goes right across the face. Doesn't register a score, as there's a little more lightning flashing in the background too, with 2.5 minutes remaining.
The Giants from the last line of defence. Perryman in front of his own defensive goal square at full back. Out the far side, and Williams comes across, giving us all to the very end in his milestone game. Game 150 for Bailey Williams. He scored a goal in the second term. This time he flew across at left half forward and knocks it out to keep it in the front half of the Dogs. A boundary throw in. It's the Dogs 98, the Giants 61. Boundary throw in. Keefe flips it out towards Kelly, who will soccer it along the boundary. Handballs along the line to keep it alive for a moment, and the Dogs do keep it alive themselves. Duray takes over. Richards kicks inside 50. Himmelberg lost it. Arthur Jones goes in head to head, locking horns with Iden down low. Jones comes in again, works out a handball, swatted away by Buckley, and a free kick for a high here for the Giants back in their defensive 50. Be Connor Iden to take his free kick and sends a long kick out to the far side. Callum Brown will fly. Got a palm to it. Cornelio feeds it forward to Kelly. Whitfield's tackled down low. Bontempelli scoops it nicely. Flicks it out towards English. Picks it up down below his knees. Ugle-Hagan pokes it into Duray. Wasn't expecting it. Didn't quite hit it well, Ugle-Hagan. He goes back in again. He's tackled. It's jarred free by the Giants, and Tom Green will pick it up across half-back and finds McMullen.
Who goes further afield to Halloran, trying to navigate his way through traffic. Callaghan kept running, flicks the handball back to Tom Green. Will again use it by hand to Callaghan, who finally elects to kick on the centre wing outer side. Inside 50 it goes. A Halloran full of the footy, but it's just hoisted high into the air. Will drop straight down underneath it. Darcy Jones met heavily by McNeil. Ball over the boundary line and out of play right forward pocket for the Giants. A rare time they've been inside attacking 50 in this final term, Scott Lucas.
Yes, indeed. Entries this quarter, 22 to 10. Yeah. Started the quarter well, but then since then all the Dogs, and they've kicked the 5 goals, 4 from those entries. The Giants 1 goal 2.
Those numbers, thanks to Signet. Head to iCanWin.com.au for your chance for some grand final tickets. Dogs cleared at the defensive 50. It'll trundle over the boundary line and out of play at right half forward for the Giants. The loss for them, they'll still finish inside the 8. It just depends where in the top 4. They'll have to wait for Port Adelaide and their match against Fremantle later this afternoon. But for the Western Bulldogs, they've booked their ticket for September. Ugle-Hagan trying to find Waitman, bounces awkwardly for him. Himmelberg inboard to Whitfield. Short ball for Peatling, can't complete the mark. Bontempelli desperate to Fraser, who's also desperate, and now the Bont can clear off half-back.
He kicks out the side to Arthur Jones, who's been a fan favourite today. He'll launch it long inside 50. Iden's there. Double hands it away to the boundary line. Jack Buckley will come and help him out. Iden gets swarmed by Norton. Ball comes free. McRae looking for the handball, but Iden just recovered nicely. McNeil lost his feet. The Dogs are back in the finals. After missing in 2023, the Western Bulldogs are back in September. They've locked up a spot in the top 8. And they've won here by 37 points, 14-14, 98 to the Giants, 9-7, 61. And it was a 5-goal-1 last quarter, which sealed the deal for the Western Bulldogs. It was the Giants who led by 11 points at quarter time. The Dogs, with a 6-goal-2 second quarter, made it 17 points in their favour at half time. They led by 11 points at 3-quarter time and have run out 37-point winners here at Mars Stadium. There were doubles all the way down the stat sheet. Ed Richards, Aaron Norton, Sam Darcy, and that's it for the Dogs. All had 2. Jesse Hogan, Toby Green and Aaron Cadman all had 2 for the Giants. Lockie Whitfield finished on top of the stat sheet with 42 touches. Tom Green had 36 and Ed Richards topped the tally for the Western Bulldogs with 29 disposals. And for the latter, that means the Giants in all likelihood will finish 4th unless Port Adelaide get belted by Fremantle, but I reckon the difference in percentage might be hard for Port Adelaide to go that far down the top 4, but we'll wait and see. But a top 4 finish nonetheless, and it could be a battle of the bridge in the qualifying final against the Swans. And the Dogs will finish in 6th on the ladder. And again, that'll be pretty much locked in the elimination final, the Dogs against Hawthorn in week 1, which means there's one spot in the 8 left. It'll be either Carlton or Fremantle, which will be decided in a couple of hours from now. That Carlton St Kilda game is getting underway in about 7.5 minutes from now. As we've heard the song around Mars Stadium, a very happy Bulldogs crowds. The winning team celebrating tonight for Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives every day of the year. Jordan Canellis, Matthew Cox and Scott Lucas, our expert. Scott, the Dogs are in the finals with an impressive 37-point win, and they put the hammer down late in the game against the Giants here.
They did really set up with their performance against the Breeze. I mean, that was critical for me. Of course, they made the most of it, but they didn't let the Giants get away from them when they were going into the Breeze. And then, we look at the start of the last quarter, the Richards goal early really set them up. We saw a little rally from the Giants, but then well on top at the end. Really professional performance by the Dogs today. I thought they played not only the conditions well, which goes without saying, but in particular, their contest work, an extra 13 contested possessions, an extra 15 clearances was really pivotal. That gave them the opportunity to have an extra 24 inside 50. So it really, attitude, contest, gave them the upper hand in field position, and they were able to make the most of it. 28 scoring shots to 16.
It sets up now an elimination final if we're keen to look that far ahead already in 2 weeks. Got plenty of time between then and now and then, but
two informed teams, aren't they?
Almost the 2 most informed teams in the top 8 are going to go head-to-head in an elimination final in the first week.
I think that's fair. I mean, Sydney did what they needed last night. I thought Brisbane were a little bit scrappy, who were the team that we thought might have been one of those formed teams. Hawthorn were incredibly good yesterday. The Giants we thought were okay, but the Dogs got them by 6 goals today. So Giants and Hawks is going as well as anyone. Unfortunately, it's an elimination final next week.
Yep.
In 2 weeks' time, that they will play against one another. So therefore, one doesn't go on, which seems disappointing. But we know it's a season over 23 weeks, not the last 6 weeks. And Hawthorn made it harder for themselves with their start. The Dogs similar, bit up and down at the start, but both playing such strong football at the business end of the season.
Mathematically improbable that Carlton will overtake the Hawks on percentage. There's about 8% difference between the 2 teams, so it's just too far of a margin to make. So it's 8th position, which is up for grabs later on today. Well, in a couple of minutes from now, Carlton and St Kilda getting started, and then later in the twilight game, Fremantle and Port Adelaide, which, if Carlton win, could be a dead rubber for Fremantle, who are half a game behind. So they'll be 6 points in arrears of the Blues if they win.
And just in terms of the top 4, Geelong could move to 2nd spot if Port Adelaide lose to Fremantle by more than 23 points. So that's the final piece of the puzzle in terms of the top 4.
Yep.
A 23-point loss for Port Adelaide will elevate Geelong into 2nd spot on the ladder.
There you go. So that's still alive, and that'll be in play in that last game. Scotty, a couple of minutes to go through the awards. The unmissable moment for Drink Wise. Choose to drink wise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
I'll go the Arthur Jones goal.
Yeah.
And the response from the crowd. He is a fan favourite.
The forever young player of the day for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Tobin Brothers Funerals celebrating lives, a player over the age of 30.
Well, Hogan's only 29, I see, so therefore he doesn't qualify based on my calculations. So I don't know why I bothered with that. Callan Ward.
Yeah.
Or Liam Jones.
Yeah, actually I like that.
Yeah, Liam Jones.
It's a good call. The Tobin Brothers Funerals player of the day over the age of 30.
Celebrating lives every day of the year. The big moment for Bendix Brakes. Put your foot down with confidence, Bendix Brakes.
I'll say the first goal of the last quarter, the Libba clearance into the Ed Richards goal.
Who ran the most kilometres? Because they'll be sleeping well tonight for the original Mattress Factory. Kick back and relax with an adjustable bed from Australian designed and owned OMF.
Lockie Whitfield, 15.1 Ks today for the Giants, led the leaderboards.
The coaching move for Henley Homes. Henley's new 7-star display homes now open in Tarnee, Truganina, Werribee, Clyde, North.
Artie Jones, first game of the year. Chosen as the sub, then has a little bit of good fortune in a sense. Plays a really nice role. 2 scoring shots in the last quarter, one of those a goal.
The coaching move of the day for Henley Holmes, Bill with confidence. Who's been the toughest player for Anthem Workwear? Get inspired.
Libba. I rolled him at half-time. I've got to get him back in.
You did.
MRO incidents for Arnold, Thomas and Becker. Talked to a lawyer today. Don't think there was anything.
I think we're clear.
And that leads us into our votes for AFL Nation's Player of the Year. Who got the 3-2-1 in these respective teams' final game of the home and away season?
1 vote to Libba, outstanding all day. 2 to the Bont, set a scene early, and 3 votes to Ed Richards, consistent all day, 2 goals, 29 disposals. Fantastic once again.
There you go. It's Richards with the 3 votes. Our major partner is the TAC. If you've been drinking, don't risk driving. TAC, and we've been dressed thanks to Ringers Western. Whether it's the paddock or the pub, Ringers Western has the kit to keep you warm this winter. We're not far away from handing over to Carlton versus St Kilda. What a big last 2 games we've got coming our way, Scott, to end the home and away season.
Fantastic finish, and I get a headache thinking about all the different combinations that we can get. And Coxie's talking about if they win by this or lose by this. And let's just wait till it's all finished and hope we see 2 fantastic games to round out the season. What a season it's really been.
Yeah,
it's been simply outstanding. Twists and turns and an evenness we haven't seen before.
Thank you, Scott. A pleasure as always.
Yeah, always a pleasure to work with you guys, and fantastic to see the Dogs perform as they did today.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Geordie.
The Dogs are in the finals, winners by 37 points here in Ballarat against the Giants. Carlton and St Kilda up next.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Host Plus. Host Plus has been named Money Magazine's best super fund for 2024. That's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Check the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au.
Heading to the footy this weekend? Don't forget to bring your headphones to listen to SEN's call live with no delay on SEN Stadium through the SEN app.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which the upcoming match is being played. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past and present. For 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Welcome to AFL Nation.
The Bulldogs have fulfilled their end of the brief, and now it's Carlton's turn. Make a certainty of your position in the finals by winning this afternoon against St Kilda. It's a task made harder by the late out of Mitch McGovern, so the Blues are afflicted with injury, but the task is pretty straightforward. Get it done. Andy Marr, we meet again under these circumstances. Welcome.
You're enjoying the prospect of this far too much, Jared, for my liking. But no, exciting, full house. Hopefully we get a cracking contest.
Dermot Burton, hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Yeah, this is a live one. It really has some ramifications on the end result as we stand. Really looking forward to the battle between Pitternet and Marshall. Piternet's good at the stoppage. Marshall will get on his bike. Pitternet will be run around this afternoon.
Opening bounce coming near a full house under the closed roof on AFL Nation. You're with Andy Marr.
You don't have to wait long, do they? Lock horn, Stocker goes straight to Cripps, who gets the first clearance, gets it to Hewitt. They go to the top of the square. Long ball goes in. Kemp can't mark. The little fella's at ground level. Hollins goes in. Tries to farm it out to his brother. Gets it to Durden. Hit it hard in the contest. And Kilda get numbers back. Steele predictably and reliably with that tackle. Carlton come out the front. They're a chance here, the Blues. It is Hewler who kicks the first. They just forced it through the stoppage. Hewitt got on the end of it. And Carlton kicked the opener in the first 30 seconds.
Mopped it up beautifully, Carlton. Got the ball, as you called it. Not so much a stoppage, but it was just real congestion. And they were able to keep moving the ball to the outside and shuffling it into, back by hand, by force, into the corridor. And Hewitt with the banana across the ground. Had a look at Kemp's leap at the ball then. He did well last week when he went forward, so I'm looking for later in the game. He ran himself under the footy without any contact then, so I hope his radar is on. I hope his timing is on, and we can see him clunk a few marks coming out of the goal square.
Need complete and utter commitment, all of club. I love the roar. The crowd is theirs. No room for pessimism or negativity today. First goal is the Blues. Pitnet and Marshall, good straight bounce to work with. Pitnet swatted it out the back. Walsh hunts the footy, needs somebody going by. No one there. Drops it onto the right boot around the corner instead. Owies in front. Webster made the spoil. Ball to be won underneath. Owies went straight for it, but he was overwhelmed by the numbers. Webster's kick was smothered. The ricochet. Cripps and Sinclair against the boundary. Sinclair has it, kicks the Saints down the wing. Blues have good representation, and Newman stands in the jam and takes them up.
That's a big plus.
Big role to play with McGovern out of the side. The real General's roll down there, finds Ollie Hollins, who moves it quickly inside forward. 50, almost the mark taken by Carroll, going back with the fly to the ball. Kennedy surrounded by a couple. Quick snap from the pocket again, right to the line. Jones there, and Marks with inches to spare. Plays on straight away, comes out to the members' side, the umpire. We may have a score review here for Mate Internet and Mobile, it looks like.
It's a little... I know that's the rules, but that's going to penalise the Saints.
Yep.
Yes. Time post ball is a mark. Please confirm the ball hasn't crossed the line. Just grab the
review underway.
So didn't trust him, say, on the review, and the Saints were away with space. Now they have to come back for the review. And if it is as such...
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see the ball's controlled before crossing the back of the behind line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Yep, so they've been robbed of 20 metres because they're not allowed the natural play on. There was no impediment on the game except for the umpire saying, can you double-check my decision?
Yeah, that's not a great scenario.
No.
Jones off the behind line, and now the whole field is set and defended. Jones made heavy weather of what the decision was going to be. Kicks long out to half-back. No Mark Woods. They fight for it underneath. Walsh wins the hard ball. Got it out to Newman. Kicks inside 50. Spoils are made initially. Owies is there. He has it. Hand pass was clever to Kennedy. Wants the central target. He hangs it up for Akers. 1, 2, 3. Got it! Used the height differential well.
So you got Akers playing on the wing. His opponent is Zach Jones. Zach Jones goes to the goal line and tries to be, I'll be the last touch. I'll goal keep this in the net. And that leaves coverage from Wanganeen, Malera. And he's not terribly good in the one. He's a good player, but he's not. That's not what he's built for, one-on-one against a bloke who's 6'3".
Blake Akers, left to centre, set shot, 25 outs.
Post.
No, that's right. It's clipped the top of the right-hand goalpost, just deflected down to fine leg. 1-1-7 to the Saints, yet to score.
See the catch behind in the test overnight, down leg, which was disallowed.
Sinclair brings it back into play. Long and strong, goes looking for Filippo. He was interfered with in the marking contest. Will take the free kick. Just short of wing position, member side, comes inboard, short.
So Marshall's already 70 metres forward of this back flank kick coming up from Webster.
He goes short again to Wanganeen Miller, hard up against the boundary line. He's got a bit of room to move, runs past the interchange for Spitwater. Magnificent kick into Filippo, just short of half forward.
That's a stunning kick.
Yeah. He goes short back to Wanganeen Miller. It's in good hands again, Dermott. Gives it to Jones, who's just crept forward. That wasn't a stunning kick. Missed his man. Turnover possibility at half forward. Jones gets the handball away to Marshall. Just in the nick of time. Spits out to Sard. Clever little kick as he was lunging in the tackle. Gets it to Carroll. Carroll a high, slow drop punt. That's not a great kick for Cripps. And Wanganeen Miller dropping back into the hole takes the mark.
First bounce, we saw Steele opposed to Cripps. There's another short one in here.
Up to Sinclair, and over now to Marshall, who was out marker. Surely it was a marker, a free kick to Akers. It was both, and neither got paid.
Yeah, it was.
That's lax, isn't it?
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, Cripps and Steele sized each other up at the very first bounce. Since then, it looks like Stocker, like he did last week, has made a bit of a beeline for Cripper.
Right half forward for the Saints. Hicknet protects the drop zone, but he kicked it straight to Jones, who fights his way through initially. Filippo ended up with it. Hand pass in sharp. Dow's kick was smothered. Filippo has another go. Sinclair overwhelmed by the Blues' pressure. Good smother to keep it in dispute, though. Chincotta gets hold of it. Gave it to Cowan, to Walsh, and back to Cowan, running right through the middle. Unloads inside 50. What does he want? Kemp! Oh, that's the most ungainly fly of the year. As Wilkie took position in front of him.
It's fair to say his timing's a little out on his first two attempts.
Not since that pole vaulter at the Olympics.
The most ambitious leap of the footy you've seen in 2024. I'm not sure I can remember a more ambitious one, but anyway, it was a free kick, and St Kilda came out and then we turned around. We've gone back in. It's 70 out from the Carlton goal, throwing out of side of the ground.
Yep, Cripps back onto the ball, push forward there for a minute, Stocker to him.
Pitnet, it's going to lock bodies with Marshall. Sinclair, the quick kick. around the body, crumbed by Saad. There was high contact, and the umpire's going to bring it back. Free kick. Going to go to Nick Newman.
That's great. Nick Newman, I think, he's a wonderful outlet kicker, backline player. But since in the last couple of years he's added this to his game where he'll stand under a footy. I'm not so sure he was all that willing early on. This is an add-on to his game. It's made him a better player.
It's a long driving drop punt inside forward 50. Again, it's a scrap for the ball. Comes out to battle off hands. Now it's a race for Owens. He's got Cowan in pursuit. Boundary line's close. Cowan takes the player and the footy over the boundary line, 60 out from the Carlton goal. So Blues doing all the early attacking, 1-1-7. The Saints yet to score on the Elders quarterboard for Australian agriculture.
Yeah, we're just seeing if Battle runs himself into form for a position in the Hawks back line in round one.
50 out from the Blues goal. Marshall brings it to ground. Elijah Holland's trying to spin through. Pitnet lends a hand down to Cowan. Kick was smothered. So Stock has a chance to get after it. Walsh beats him to it. Hands it off to Saad. The Blues do bring it forward. Wide at left half forward, where Hewitt has footy in hand.
See that, Jared? Stock a wonderful smother, but then had no explosiveness to follow up the 3 steps to go at the footy again.
Hewitt to the teeth of goal. Kemp stumbles, doesn't get a leap at it this time. The punches are made defensively. Jones comes through, hands it off. Stocker got it away to Wanganeen Miller, standing unattended in the middle of the field as Wiedering. He can control the angles of play. Out to the right for Newman. Doesn't want to wait too long. Probes inside 50, didn't work. Hill cuts the angles and takes the intercept.
Saints getting numbers back, aplenty. And they bring it out to Mason Ward, who had to stretch for it and was held up by Ollie Hollands, outer side of the ground, just short of the wing position. Big crowd in for this Sunday afternoon game of real consequence. Higgins may have been taken in the marking contest by Wiedering. That's the way the umpire sees it. As the Saints inch their way forward, hard up against the boundary line. Higgins wheels and goes now. Driving ball, it's a 2v2. Tall timber down there. Out the back, Marshall takes the mark and tumbles it through.
That's what he can do. He's in great form.
Saints get their first on the board for the afternoon. 1 straight St Kilda, 1-1 the Blues. We've been going 9 minutes into the opening quarter. AFL Nation for 420 pies and tyre power.
Just by the touch of the body, he played the rear position then against his opponent. The long kick comes in and he forces his man Pitnet under the foot. He takes the easy chest mark. The last 6-8 weeks, I'd rate him about a 6.5, a 7 out of 10 at stoppage play. Rowan Marshall, I'd rate him a 9.5 out of 10 as a ruckman tracking the ball around the ground, getting dangerous or saving it at the other end. He's in awesome form once the ball leaves the centre.
AFL Nation for 420 pies and for tyre power, best on road. Pitnet and Marshall renew acquaintance in the middle. Pitnet almost ended up with it. Marshall did a good job to thwart him. Hand pass was gathered low down by Clark. Off to Hill, on to Stocker, out in front of Sinclair. He's got company. Fantasia brought him down, wrapped him up, stopped him in his tracks, forced the ball up. Just looking at a free kick from the out-of-zone umpire going the way of Sinclair. So umpire on the spot thought that was all fair. Umpire out of zone saw something untoward. Sinclair plays it wide for Webster. Remember, he's got up to full forward. He's going to have plenty of company. Memory, he got hands to it, then laid the tackle on Cowan. He traps it on the behind line for a ball up.
Yeah, remember, he's got Young and he had him in the goal square. Now, Young's a lot taller, but in the art of body work and just how to offset your opponent, remember, he's going to get him on the one-on-ones.
Wilson got some sort of kick across the teeth of goal. It was cut off though. Fantasia brings it out the near side. I think he get knocked off in sufficient intent.
Oh, word.
Slipped up over the boundary with nobody in the vicinity. And Burns with footy in hand for the Saints. Brings it around to Clark. She's pretty congested up ahead. Butler wants it short. That is where the kick goes.
Hunter's a better user. Hunter Clark's a better user than Butler. I'd look to try and get it back to him.
Butler is going to go a little bit deeper instead. Akers had the fly to make the spoil. Pitnet gathers the crumb. Gives it off to Saad. Clears the defensive area for Newman. He's got it right against the boundary.
Takes the mark. Beautiful movement. It's going to be one of those games, Derm, isn't it? It's both teams seem intent on getting heaps of numbers back.
Well, this is the next progression for Ross's coaching, far be it for us to second guess him, is restrict but get flow into your own in this day and age. He's found the flow recently. Carlton goes centre now.
Cowan to Lord to Fantasia to Ollie Hollins, a driving footy up towards half forward. Is a lovely kick. Carroll got off his man, wheels and goes. He's got a nice left foot, comes inboard and finds his man Durden. He had a couple free in the corridor. Walsh was one. He decided to take the longer option, and Durden takes the mark, 35 out directly in front.
Gotta say, Dougal Howard will give it up on on chasing the leading player out. That was way too easy when that ball went out.
He's playing a really interesting role last week before his shoulder popped out. He's 5'10" and was playing as a real lead-up option for them against the Eagles last week, and was playing one of his better games until he went off. He should kick the goal. He's tugged it to the left. And another bad miss to the Blues. Akers and Durden missed goals they should have kicked. 1-2-8. St Kilda 1 straight 6 opening quarter for Elders.
Giving you a feel for the game at the moment where the ball is living. It's 8-4 inside 50s. 8-4 in favour of Carlton thanks to Hijaz Halal Financial Services.
Kick in was tipped by Fantasia. Walsh is onto the loose ball. Can he straighten up? He went for the pocket. He gave it back. So Wanganeen Miller gets to make amends, and he finds Hill this time at defensive 50. He dabs them up toward the Saints attack around the boundary. Wiedering just wrong-footed for a moment. Membry arrived, but Saad tidies up. Shared it with Chincotta. Then off to Hewitt. Took a little while. Off to Chincotta. Bounced out of trouble. Needs some support. Hewitt stayed viable. Set it up to the side. And Young is there to take the mark. The Blues just look to make sense of things against the boundary on the far side. Ollie Hollins with ball in hand.
Really think that the St Kilda defence is imbalanced here. They've got one tall man too many down there, and they just lacking a little bit at ground level.
6-man pack. Blues have ended up with it. Kick wasn't bad from Binns. Cut off by Wanganeen Miller, so there's a lot that relies on him at the moment. He'll attack the contest. The mark was taken in front, and it's Wilson who has it safely in his clutches for the Saints.
Good hands from this exciting young kid. Halfback, he decides to take on Hollins, gets around him, now has to go down the line. The kick was there and put himself under a bit of pressure. Walsh cut it off, comes inboard to Elijah Hollins, who on the second bite stretches, takes the mark, gives it to Newman, who cruises by. He knows he's got Kennedy further. That's where he goes with the handball, driving footy into the corridor, but read beautifully by Wilkie. He's been doing that since he stepped into the league. Clark gets the handball, spreads it wide to Membry, loves playing against the Blues, feels for it, gets the bounce, pokes it over the top. They're free. Steele, he's got the opener in the forward pocket. Higgins, Hollins can't get there. Higgins thinks about it, but you know that he wants to have the shot.
He intimates that he's going to pass off.
No one believed it.
No, you've got a better chance of leading to Brian Taylor. And that's in this, and that's right now.
Well, he does this so well. If you're a supporter of the Saints, I reckon you want Higgins from just about anywhere to go back when he's within 35 and have the set shot.
Played that very well, the Saints. Off half back then.
And he comes. I think that's a shocking kick. It scrapes through for a behind. Not one of these good ones.
So
1-1-7 the Saints, 1-2-8 the Blues do.
Sorry, Andrew.
No, you're on.
That occasion, they come off the half-back line and Wiedering was controlling everything down the spine, but they still fanned it out wide and were able to get a shot at goal, given that Carlton had an extra behind the footy.
Elders for Australian Agriculture. Long goes Saad after having a run, but he hasn't found a target. Sinclair picks it off for the Saints. He gives a bit of ground to Burns.
Hijaz Halal Financials. Cripps. One possession, and that was an illustration there. Stocker just bodied him away from the drop of that mark.
Burns back to Battle, who's going to receive it again after he spread it up to Dow. Then Burns on the wing. So they all stayed involved, but no material gain. Still at halfway. Burns puts the Saints up inside 50. Wiedering arrives to make the spoil. Hewitt underneath, got tackled, released it. Lord took them on, off to Cripps, pumped it out to side to Newman. He can guide the Blues to safety. Durden has it on the wing. Just holds up as Sinclair comes in to tend the mark. Bites the kick-off up the line. It was narrow. Carroll got there to make good.
Gee, Stocker was brave. That was lights out had he made contact then.
Yep.
And it was on Liam Stocker.
Carroll up to Lord. Lord's going to give the forwards a look. He's kicked it up onto their heads. Plenty of defenders there. Underneath, Fantasia kicked it straight into Cripps. It ricochets up and down the mine shaft. Bounces. Wanganeen Miller was just a little hesitant to take possession because they were all sweating on him to do so. Kennedy farmed it out. Walsh got tackled the moment it arrived. He still worked some sort of hand pass to keep it momentarily in motion. But the numbers went out. Ball up.
Not sure the long high ball is going to be Carlton's friend today, Derm. It's the third time early this quarter they've done that. Cripps takes the ruck contest, tried to find Kennedy. Saints have got numbers. Higgins was very good, gets it to Filippo. Steps his way through a couple of would-be tacklers. The handball was cut off by Hollins. He's wrapped up straight away. Umpire's going to ping him back into the tackler.
So first contact came to him, and then he dropped and slinked down into the tackle. He almost backed into the tackle, and that went high by Butler, but the umpire said no, first contact was good.
Quickly got it to Burns. He gets it to Wilson. They're getting out the back. Sharman in between wing and half forward. Member side of the ground held up. Has to go back. Wiedering patrolling.
Yeah, he's got no tall targets to go against Wiedering here.
So he goes short again. They're just finding these little pockets of space. Wilson drops into the pocket again, and Wood comes out on the lead and takes the mark. About 30 out. 5 steps in from the boundary line, but a good side for a left footer.
He's going to run inboard, as you know, a snap across his body on the natural left. Newman's close. Umpire drags him back, and he comes back half a step. Well done.
Oh, into the corridor he goes. Around the body he goes. Hits it absolutely perfectly. That is flush by Mason Wood, who gets his first for the afternoon. The Saints get their second, and they stick their nose in front early here under the dome. 2-1, 13th, St Kilda, Carlton 1-2-8. All on the Elders scoreboard, your reliable partner in rural and regional Australia.
So my first read on it, Andy, is that Carlton aren't restricting St Kilda off the half-back line. They're getting that first kick on a 45-degree out to the wings, and that takes Wiedering out of the contest. And thereafter, they're not rushing in with forward play, with forward momentum of the footy. They're picking their targets and waiting for space to open as they massage their opponents around. So they're being quite circumspect, but it's happening off half-back. Carlton forwards have to really restrict that ball that the Saints are fanning out to the wings.
Dermot Brereton for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship experts. It's the Saints by 5. At the bounce, Petnet, clean tap down to Hewitt. Out the front, delivers perfectly. Up goes Kennedy. That's a lovely, fluent move out of the middle.
Yep, that's... The times I quote my old coach, it's a simple game, son. Ruckman taps it to the Rover, Rover kicks it to the full forward, takes a mark and kicks a goal.
Yeah. We've done all of it so far, but the last bit, Derm.
He's a pretty solid kick, though, isn't he?
He is.
As you say, with your fingers crossed.
They've had plenty more of it inside 50, the Blues, but it'll take that with what's missing. Kennedy, the set shot. He's hung it into the right-hand post. It's a good strike. So 2 posters for them out of their 3 misses. 1-3 to 2-1 on the Elders scoreboard for Australian Agriculture.
This kicking will tell you the story about the day, I reckon. See if they can restrict and get repeat entries now.
Sinclair goes short into the outer pocket. Back pocket for Battle, and now goes long and strong down the line. Marshall, Pitnet, come at it. Wilkie got hands on it. It was the footy knocked away from him. It found its way to Chincotta, who was wrapped up and taken over the boundary line out of side wing position. We'll have a ball in.
What do we make of Chincotta's lost his role as a run with against dangerous midfielders and is now a back flanker?
That's what they need him to do with the injury list, I suppose they've got at the moment.
Yeah.
And the throw in, the ball almost came out the front with the Blues in possession, but Hollins and the ball's just behind him a little bit. It goes out of bounds.
And they often talk about the kingpin out of a forward line goes, so you spread it around. I don't know who he'd tag if you wanted to tag somebody in the St Kilda.
Sinclair? Would he be the one?
Yeah, but he's coming off half back.
Yeah. Ball back into play. Dispossessed Jones by Akers. Stocker, who's made a good start on Cripps, sees the footy go out of bounds. Same spot, third boundary throw-in in a matter of minutes.
That's the key matchup, isn't it, for Seek? Better job matches with Seek. Download the Seek app. Boundary throw in. Ball tipped down the side. Akers released it agriculturally forward. Lord got worked over. Dow's hand pass 2 and over the boundary.
Well, what it does thereafter, Jared, it has, who's in very good form, Jack Steele. It allows him to play his game without thinking, Christ, I've got to beat Patrick Cripps. How do I do that? If I try and match him pound for pound, I'm up against it. It allows him to play his natural game.
Jones rows the boundary throw in off half-back for the Saints. He kicks forwards. Young had best position. Oh, it was surely a chop of the arms. Again, that free kick is not paid. It doesn't matter. The Blues are able to get there. Ollie Hollands works it around to Hewitt. So Hewitt has it. He'll start at halfway. The mark set 10 metres ahead of him. Long and strong inside the 50. They need Kemp to provide a contest. Picknett tried to knock it down. Wilkie ended up with a kick without any penetration. Butler had to wait underneath. Spoils were made on him. They ferret in after it. Burns had a couple of goes at clearing it. Didn't quite manage to do so. Owens fed it up. Dow got out of the tackle of Kennedy. He's able to release the footy for Steele, who works it up to Burns. The Saints build along the wing. Filippo has it, got right under the kick, so hasn't done them any favours up ahead. Wiedering arrives to make the spoil. Young crashed in, lost the footy in doing so. Umpires wave play on. Owens and Burns, and now Dow's got it at halfway.
Top possession getters on the ground so far, thanks to Hijaz Halal Financial Services. Walsh and Hewitt have 9 apiece for the St Sinclair 8.
Dow goes wide. Young doubled back for the Blues, got fist on it, saw it out of bounds, about 65 out. Limbury was the player coming up at the footy for the Saints. I think it might have been Butler in the end. With the ball in. Out of sight of the ground, St Kilda by 4 points. It's a tough, tight contest early. Marshall gets to the front of the contest, brings it down, toe poke into space, inside forward 50. St Kilda looked dangerous. Cowan couldn't take it with him. A lot of St Kilda numbers around the footy. Owens tries to go through a few and draws the high tackle.
He went into the spin. He took his height down. I don't know whether he was sagging into a tackle.
The right arm of Hewitt, Doom.
Yeah, it definitely got him high, but it's whether he actually played for it, sagged into the tackle, dropped his own height willfully. I don't think it was willful. One thing I would say, the Saints are up for this. They're up for physical challenge here. This is going to be a job on their hands today for the Blues.
He kicks from 48. Goal umpire studies it. It's across the face, and he misses one that on another day he might have kicked. So they're both missing opportunities, these two. 2-2-14, St Kilda. Carlton 1-3-9 on your Elders scoreboard.
Poor there too. Not one St Kilda player was on the line for the short drop in, and it was a kick from 48.
Newman kicks it in up the middle. Cripps, good strong mark in front of Stocker. He delivers the Blues into centre field. Kennedy's up, releases it to Walsh, kicks up to full forward. What have they got? Oh, they close from all sorts of angles, the Blues. Too many up and not enough down. Battle's got it underneath. Hand passed it away to Hunter, who worked it out the side to Wilson. And then to Wanganeen Miller, showed him the footy, changed his mind a couple of times, had a bounce, back pedalled, short to Jones, works it on now to Clark. Defensive side of the middle.
Taken 32 marks already, the Saints.
Kick is in the Owens direction. Cincotta cut the angles. Good play. Intercept mark for the Blues.
Imagine being able to trust yourself, Dermot, like Wanganeen Miller can to get out of any situation.
You just
with your kick.
The confidence in your agility. The only thing is, though, with his... Oh, there's one over the ear.
Cincotta's taken a mark, and Butler came in with the raised arm and copped him high here.
It wasn't... It was... Yeah, it's going to be 50, and that's what it's worth. It's not a big report or anything like that, because I reckon it was the open hand. Going to get a look on the replay here.
He knew what he was doing, Dan. He's been around the block.
He did. Yep.
He made him earn it.
The old made him earn it.
So Cincotta comes into the middle of the ground, gives it to Newman running past another long ball to the top of the square. Haven't got any targets down there likely to mark that. Cripps gets it at ground level, lays it off to Motloff, tries to step through, can't. Ball stays alive. No, it doesn't. He tried too much. And was held, and it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to Wilson.
Not a lot of science in that kick going forward.
No.
Wilson out to Wanganeen Miller up. That's been the mode right through the opening term, hasn't it? After Sinclair.
That's a 7-metre pass, and the Carlton fans know it. Not the first.
So St Kilda are playing for it. They're getting all their numbers back for the long kick in. And Carlton are obliging for the time being. Long kick to half-back. Wiedering over the pack, made the spoil, throw it in.
They're making some noise, aren't they? It's fantastic.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because they've had the whole week to plan for it and last week to rehearse it. So the fact that it's been a default to the long kick is not terribly encouraging. Akers around to Walsh and then to Hewitt, who probes forward for Cripps right against the boundary. Just enough inside.
Up to his 7th possession now.
Kick smothered on the mark. Steal that time. Cripps is caught with it. Had to release it. Hewitt fumbles it over the boundary.
So, so the science of getting the ball to advantage when you go in, it's not working for Carlton. They've been inside 50. What are we up to? 15 times to St Kilda's 8.
Pitnet taps it down. Elijah Hollands works it around to Chincotta and then on to Walsh, who's going to give plenty of ground back to Wiedering. He's got the sideways kick to Newman. So they're on the clock here, the Blues. They've got 10 seconds out of half-back and they don't look terribly likely to advance. Kick it out to Binns. And they'll bin the last few seconds. St Kilda lead it by 5 points at quarter time. 2-2-14 to the Blues, 1-3-9. Marshall and Wood, the goal kickers for the Saints. Hewitt has the goal for the Blues. AFL Nation is for 4 and 20 pies, and for Tyre Power, best on road.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Elders, your reliable partner in rural and regional Australia.
OMF. Be 100% comfy with the OMF sale. Get up to 55% off selected modern, family and signature mattresses, like these 7-zone pocket spring mattresses, our BC7 mattress or our Cloud 7 mattress. Or there's our premium St. Kitts mattress with over 650 micro air pocket springs for superior support. Plus, get up to 30% off selected bedroom furniture. And check out our new Quinn range. The OMF sale ends this weekend.
Playing to win? Do it with the pain management team. Deep Heat prepares the muscles for performance and reduces the risk of injury. The smell of victory. And when injury strikes, Ice Gel is ready to reduce pain and discomfort quickly. Can't shake the pain? Pain Relief Naproxen liquid capsules deliver fast 12-hour relief from pain and inflammation. Fast, targeted pain relief from an iconic brand you know and trust. Deep Heat. Feel it work. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Incorrect use could be harmful.
G'day, Merv Hughes here. New Farm's been there for Aussie growers for 100 years. Through prosperity and heartache, drought and flame. Through the unprecedented and through innovation. New Farm's high-quality crop protection products are formulated right here in Australia because Aussie growers are tougher together through choosing Australian. New Farm understands local conditions and the importance for Aussie growers to have the right products at the right time. New Farm, Australian through and through. To learn more, visit newfarm.com.au.
The Quarter Pounder is an icon, but we're changing it. Try the Quarter Pounder Deluxe with lettuce and tomato, or the new Quarter Pounder barbecue bacon and crispy onions. Don't worry, you can still get the original. Available after 10:30 a.m. for a limited time.
Convenience is the key when it comes to Melbourne Airport's terminal parking. Located directly opposite Terminals 1, 2, 3 and at Terminal 4, you'll be at the check-in counter in no time. With just a few minutes walk to the terminals. Plus, getting in and out is easy. Online bookings include a convenient QR code for smoother entry and exit. Just scan it at the gate and you're ready to go. Park with ease at Melbourne Airport. Book online for the best rates at melbourneairport.com.au.
If you're digging for a living, here's what to do. Go to supergroups.com.au.
It's Bucks here. In footy, us fans will always debate free kicks. Right now, Supergroups has a 5K free kick to give away. Order the U17-3, the Kubota 1.7-tonne model, and you'll get a free hydraulic hitch worth around $5,000. So, dig in with Supergroups, the masters of Kubota excavators. T's and C's apply. This free kick offer available while stocks last.
Supergroups.com.au.
Hi, it's Emma Martino from State Transport. Covering the Eastern Seaboard and beyond, State Transport has no boundaries when it comes to delivering your freight within Australia, no matter how big or how small. We help our customers win on and off the road, and you can rely on our 24/7 round-the-clock services. Call us on 134 888. State Transport. Our people are your solution.
State Transport. Our people are your solution.
The Workside Portaloo. Okay. What better place to head to bizcover.com.au and check out all the ways you could be saving money on your business insurance.
Electrician.
Like your public liability. Because only BizCover lets you compare, save, and get instant cover online, on the go, in minutes.
I can save $400. Oh, woohoo!
You all right, Brad? Check how much a tradie like you could save on your business insurance. For on-the-go cover,
go BizCover.
Don't race all over town. Beaumonts have it all. Right now, buy a complete bathroom package and choose a free Hotwire heated towel rail or Zoomy ceiling heater up to $650 free at Beaumonts. T's and C's apply.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumo Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
St Kilda get numbers back. Steele predictably and reliably with that tackle. Carlton come out the front. They're a chance here, the Blues. It is Hewler who kicks the first. They just forced it through the stoppage. Hewitt got on the end of it. And Carlton kicked the opener in the first 30 seconds.
Macca's I'm loving it moments.
Make it McSmart with the new McSmart meal.
St Kilda by 5 points at quarter time around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse. Head into Chemist Warehouse for great savings every day. The Bulldogs 14-14-98 defeated the Giants 9-7-61 to book a place in September. Dermot Brereton for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship expert.
This is as much a game about footballing styles here, because Carlton need to get better at putting the ball to advantage when they go inside forward 50, and they need to restrict St Kilda's ability to march the ball down the field. They'll get it out to the wings, but thereafter it's all about considered play for St Kilda. So if you practice that, putting out a grid zone that doesn't give up easy marks, that's what St Kilda are doing. They want uncontested football and try and plop the ball on the head of somebody who drops into a space forward of where the footy is, forward in their front half of the ground. So it's as much about how you are drilled as a team for Carlton today as it is about ability. So, yeah, interesting game, intriguing game to come.
Second term gets underway. The Saints are wearing their lollipop strip this afternoon. They lead by 5 points over the Blues, who hit the post twice in the opening term. Pitnet settles himself. He wins the tap, but Clark won the footy underneath. Hand pass to Steele. St Kilda go forward first. It'll land up at the 50. Cincotta was brave. Went back behind Wood and takes the mark with the flight.
Really interesting at that first bounce. Carlton start with their one full forward in the goal square, and the other two blokes, two more Carlton forwards, are actually standing on the edge of the goal square.
Cincotta down the wing. Marshall didn't quite intercept, and then his hand pass was a bit loose. Akers tracked it all the way to the boundary, knocked it up to Hewitt, works it onto Lord. He's in the tackle, back to Hewitt. So the Blues still with a chance to bring it in. Long ball inside. Kemp's got three up against him. Ground ball to be won. Fantasia tackles, battle, put it into dispute. Cripps onto it. Gave it to Newman. Fought his way through, then to Pitnet. Didn't get enough on the kick. Oh, it ran on and bounced through. You couldn't believe it. Fooled them all. And the Blues lead on the goal of their ruckman. 2-3-15 to 2-2-14 on the Elders. You can rely on Elders' scoreboard.
Well done, Marcus Pitnet. There's a huge element of luck there for his third goal of the season. Not today. Just end over end. It nutmegged everyone. It just rolled through somehow, bounced about 18 metres out from goal, and there was still 4 or 5 players between the bounce and the goal line, and somehow it trickled through. But well done to him. Doesn't kick many goals, and it's good to get one back against Rowan Marshall.
Just keep an eye on Patrick Cripps' right shoulder here. He pulled up short. after that first centre bounce to start this quarter. I feel like he's feeling it at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that. Marshall toe pokes it from the start. Pitnet goes over the top, crashing through Clark, dispossessed. Cripps goes in over the top, can't do anything with the handball. Wanganeen, Miller and Clark wrapped up by Hollands, and the brother come in. It's not coming out with the ball up.
That little flick out, it went astray, but Jack Steele's been so good at that, getting right to ground level, chest on the turf.
Saad did beautifully to create some space, get the footy, gives to Elijah Hollands inside forward 50 he goes, but Battle drifts back and takes a very, very good defensive mark and just gets it to Hill in the nick of time.
Got Nick Del Santos crept into the box next to us. I wonder what he thinks of the new Hawthorn fullback.
He's been very unpleasant, Nick Del Santo, too.
Hill back across the face of goal to Battle. He had a bounce and brings it to the near wing. Filippo dropped the mark that he should have taken. Owens got stripped with a footy. Umpire said holding the man.
Yeah, that's stiff.
I'd like to see that again. It felt like the Cowan tackle was right where it should have been. Owens dropped the footy. And then it lingers because Cowan doesn't know the footy's gone. But how did he get rid of the footy, Dermot?
Yeah, I think the umpire's suggesting he never secured the ball.
Okay.
That might be the only thing he can hang his hat on for that.
Owens up to half forward. Great leap. Mark taken by Sharman.
Remember, he's got Newman here. He's too big for him.
Stabs the kick inside, right to the hole that Filippo fills.
Here's a stat for you, thanks to Hijaz Halal Financials. 8-1 free kicks in favour of the Saints. How do you feel about that, Andy, mate?
No, it's just the way the game flows sometimes, too.
The masses are feeling it, that's for sure.
They're letting us know.
Matthias Filippo in and out season, not the advances that he would have banked on. 13th game of it, he's kicked 7 goals. Angled to the left, kick is no good at all. This is the locks. Sliced it badly and out on the full. So Carlton still by a point on the Elders. You can rely on Elders scoreboard.
AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power. Akers brings it back into play. Down the line, Battle gets into a good position. Can't mark ground level. Over the top of it goes Fantasia. Jones gets hands on it and takes it over the line. Shout out to Pete, by the way, from 4 and 20 pies, who looks after us every single week, doing with some magnificent preheated pies into the office.
Not one before. I was wondering where it was coming from. Dell was eating one just over my shoulder.
I think that might have been yours in the 8th. Marshall gets to the front, but Pitnet gets the crumb. Newman having heaps of it. He's running hot for Reen. Tumbles into space. Ollie Hollands played it well, kept it in front of him until Steele came in and took him and the footy over the boundary line. Carlton progressed the footy about 40 metres closer to their goal. It's just the attacking side of centre wing, down by the interchange gates for Spitwater High. Pressure washes, ball thrown in.
If he flicks it over the back, he's going to get Jones all by himself here.
Marshall took the contest. Burns wrapped up, taken to ground hard by Hewitt. Steele wrapped up by Cripps. Ball spits out. Crosses the boundary line with the ball.
Yeah, they're dead heats, the last 3 boundary line throw-ins. I felt that Carlton were better at the centre bounce first quarter, but I felt that St Kilda probably got the better of it from the boundary line throw-ins around the ground.
Marshall went with the boot because he was being held. Free kick St Kilda, 9-1. Forward they go. Dow was able to get it on to Clark, then back to Dow. Muscled his way through a couple and finally got caught. Oh, up, blow the whistle. That's holding the ball. Dear me. Cowan gives it to Walsh, who kicks it down the wing. Marshall inserts himself and takes the mark. As much for the fairness of the game as for bloody talk back tomorrow. This is ridiculous. Marshall off to Howard, through centre-half back he goes. Battle out the far side. Wilkie has it. I wonder what they're chanting there, hey? Off to Hill on the wing. Guides St Kilda beyond halfway. Good stuff. Elijah Hollands got in the hole. Made the spoil. Wiedering. Off to Akers and up to Kennedy. Kennedy has a defensive side of the middle. He wants Walsh to run into space. The kick is good enough to find him. Elijah Hollands is inboard to correct the angles. The kick missed him, so that's a bad turnover. Wanganeen Miller is onto it. Hand pass didn't do Wood any favours. Slipped down underneath the tackle. Goes backwards. Wanganeen Miller off to Webster. The Saints laborious going forward, but they find Filippo. Hill races ahead. Filippo holds it up.
They've got one extra, just forward of the footy, just short.
He has taken too long here, and now he brings it up into the pocket where Young had Woodwell covered. Made the spoil out of play. Blues by goal. TAC, if you've been drinking, don't risk driving, TAC.
It almost seemed like Carlton were too scared to come forward at pace then, when the St Kilda back line was still a little unsettled.
Maybe they've adjusted the long bomb inside forward 50, but then when you turn it over the way Walsh did, everything falls down in a terrible part of the ground. Ball thrown in. Chance for the Saints. Filippo, snap goal!
He loves it.
Out of nowhere.
He's got talent with his feet, this lad.
Yeah. He sure has. That's the third on the board for the Saints. First for Matthias Filippo. 3-2-20, St Kilda 2-3-15. Carlton on the Elders scoreboard. You can rely on Elders.
Yeah, he did well out of there. I mean, just at the stoppage there. Once again, as I said, the boundary line throw-ins, it just seems like St Kilda are getting... They're fairly even. St Kilda have had a couple more in their favour from boundary line throwing clearances, but they just get the cleaner takeaway, the more purposeful takeaway from boundary line stoppage. Whereas Carlton, if they're winning any of these stoppages, it tends to be the centre square, the centre bounce one. So let's see how they go up here.
Ball back in the middle for Maccas, the new quarter-pounder range at Maccas.
Cripps on the bench for Spitwater.
Marshall and Pitnet shoulder to shoulder. Underneath, Dow works it up to Marshall. Kick slewed off the side of the boot out to the wing. Binns did well, followed it all the way back.
Ross has given Paddy Dow a fair bit of responsibility, put him into quite a few centre bounces already. Ex-Carlton player. You can't help but think sometimes coaches love rubbing it into the face of the opposition team.
Binns backward to Newmans, up to Elijah Hollins, particularly short to Hewitt.
Hewitt opposed to Jack Steele so far in this game.
Short to Sard. So it's a different mode in the second quarter. The question of whether it's an overcorrection. Sard finds Kennedy. This is all still in the centre square. Blues are down by 5. And Kennedy commits himself to the long kick inside. Pitnet and Kemper is 2 targets. Pitnet brought it to ground. Marshall kicks it out, and it's marked by Binns. So he's got it 40 from goal. And can go back and line up.
Yeah, so earlier on in the game, Jeremy, I felt that St Kilda had one tall player in the back line too many. Now, that read on it is, if you put it into the advantage of smaller players, they will run rings around Dougal Howard, who doesn't have a natural opposition today. So in the first quarter, when they were bombing it in, it actually suited St Kilda.
Jackson Binns, left of centre, 40 metres out. Beautiful kick.
Good boy.
Terrific authority about it. So the Blues get one from the reinforcements and they reclaim the lead. 3-3-21 to 3-2-20. There's 13 and a half remaining. We've gone 10 minutes of this second term. Elders, you can rely on Elders scoreboard.
Yeah, pressure on the clearing kick. There was a lot of congestion. It was deep into their forward line. The kick went sideways. Rowan Marshall just threw it, hacked it sideways, and it barely got the 15, but enough for the umpire to say, I'll pay that. I mean, there was no great reading the play or anything like that. It was just a hack kick, pressure on the kicker, and somebody happened to be standing there and took that intercept mark.
Feels like that's going to be their way today. If they're going to prevail, it's just going to have to be almost making it up as you go along. Apply as much pressure at the source as you can, Derm, and see what happens.
Be what you are, but take the opportunities.
Back in the middle we go. Pitnet gets the better of it. Stocker over the top, wrapped up by Walsh. Ball spits free. Comes Carlton's way. Cripps comes out the front. Wrapped up by Sinclair. Holding the 40.
I'm not so sure. I reckon you got a handball to that. Umpire was blindsided where he gave the decision from.
Certainly a bit more latitude given to the ball carrier a couple of minutes ago.
Yes, there was.
Webster's
Marshall's on the bike here.
St Kilda come across. Newman comes hard at him. Marshall too big, too strong in his hands, just too good. Marks. It was good pressure from Newman. Marshall outstanding on the logo. Member side of the ground has to slow it up now, and he's going to go backwards to Howard. Edge of the centre square, half back.
Not so sure I'd give that to Dougal.
No, he hangs it up in the air. Always gets half a look at it, but can't get to Battle quickly enough. Battle takes the mark as they switch from one side of the ground to the other. Call to play on now. Battle goes down the line up towards half forward. Wiedering comes out, got underneath the footy. Sharman takes the mark, sweeps around left foot, driving ball top of the square. In fact, he tugged it. Left, it was Philippo. I beg your pardon. And he kicks the point.
Disguised as Sharman.
3-3 apiece. Halfway through this, early stages of the second quarter. We're here for TAC. If you've been drinking, don't risk driving the TAC.
Newman into the back pocket for Young. The Blues bring it in from the kick in. Young has a bounce, clears the defensive 50, probably stuck with it for longer than he wanted to be, and it's not a great kick. Sharman wins it right back for the Saints. They give a bit of ground to Hill. The switch is very much on. Kick goes all the way across the ground. Wilkie will get it on the third bounce. Owies came at him. Got shoveled forward. Sinclair getting worn close. Good stuff by Cripps. Binns couldn't quite control it. Burns took it. Cripps took him. Ball it up.
That's another part of today. Carlton have to play Wilkie cleverly. Because if they don't have aerial targets, he'll just peel off and go to the drop of the footy, and he had an awesome game last week doing that.
Cripps at the source. Ball got knocked off his boot as he went to kick it. Saints tow it forward momentarily. Jim Cotter has got muscled out of it. Kennedy wins a hard ball, kicks to the wing. Battle. Owies did a good job to jar it clear and get on after it. Owies bats it forward and now the race is on. It's over the boundary, left half forward. Good gain of yardage. Rowan Marshall was just in animated conversation with the doctor down below us on the bench for Spitwater pressure washers, made tough and ready in Australia. Just keep tabs on the Saints ruckman. Sharman and Kennedy are the reinforcements at the boundary throw and never really reached them. Almost as a protest against who was going to fight for it. Binns got taken with the footy holding the ball. That's 12-1. The free kick count.
It's getting out of hand, this count.
Sharman goes quickly. Gets it to Steele, who has a gallop. Had Hewitt covered. Into the pocket he goes. Sard lays body on Higgins. Did well. Fists it over the boundary line. As Marshall continues to receive treatment down below for Spitwater high pressure washers.
So this second quarter's a deadlock. This is just the arm wrestle now, and you keep doing what you think is the right way to break the other team, and you wait till someone blinks.
Kennedy and Sharman compete for it. Walsh gets the crumb. Carlton thump it out of defensive 50 to hug the boundary line. That is an outstanding mark by Burns. He comes in quickly. Gets it to Steele, half forward. 2 kicks from home. Looks to go short. Now pulls the trigger. Bangs it inside forward. 50. Sharman got off Kennedy, who was in an unnatural position. And Sharman takes the mark about 35. He'll kick from a couple of steps in from the boundary line.
So, yeah, it looks like Sharman and Kennedy were the 2 followers at this stage of proceedings. So Sharman takes him to his full forward, Kennedy's defensive goal square, and thereafter he makes Kennedy play as a backman. Sharman leads out as the forward that he is.
Generally pretty good from the set shot. This will take one of his better ones. He keeps it low and misses badly to the near side, scrapes through for a behind.
So
and that is Watson Kilda lead by 3-4-22, 3-3-21 Durham.
Massive news here on the computer screen that we receive from the AFL. Rowan Marshall has the blue line through him.
Wow.
Which means he's under assessment.
He's up now, so he looks like he's ready to come back for Spitwater.
Jim Cotter long down the line, picked off by Burns. Up to Hill. St Kilda mount their challenge particularly wide. Butler has footy in hand. Hugs the line in his endeavours to send it up into the pocket. Membry had a fly. Crumbing done underneath by Wilson. His snap is near side. And through for a behind. St Kilda by 2 points for Elders.
It's hard to bring it in. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and Ty Power short to Acres.
Blues have had 6 players who have not touched the ball this quarter yet.
They're short to Young. Supporters hold their breath. Thinks about going short to Akers. Now goes short to Hewitt, but not as short. He can't mark. He kicks it to a 3v1. Webster gets the crumb. Got a man on the corridor. Membry jumps up and takes the mark, as he's done for the better part of a decade.
Classical Tim Membry, the way we'll remember him, isn't it? 2-footed jump. He's standing in a good area. Waits for a little bit of turnover. Lewis Young he's his opponent. He just ball watched for 3 or 4 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, and couldn't get back to Tim Membry. 2-footed jump, marks above his head.
25 out directly in front. He's made a career out of making the most of these, Membry. In he comes. And he pushes it out to the right, but he's scraped it through. So Membry gets his first of the afternoon, and St Kilda make, in the context of this one, a little move. 4-5-29 the Saints. Carlton 3-3-21. Second quarter for Elders.
That was some really troubling vision from behind the goal. So a goal umpire's been subbed out of the game, bleeding from the back of the head. A projectile was thrown at him from the critical mass of Carlton supporters behind the goals. So that's a dreadful scene in our game.
Jeepers, that's a return to 40 years ago. So that's something I never thought we'd encounter again.
The full tale to be told in the aftermath, but that's no good.
That is all right.
Or she.
I don't know whether we male or female goal umpires.
St Kilda by 8. It's the biggest lead of the day thus far, so it's an important ball to be won in the middle. Picknett gets after it, gave it away to Lord, to Cripps, who handed it on to Ollie Hollins. His job to find a target. He finds Hewitt. It was tipped on the way through by Steele, so Hewitt had to play on. Changed his mind and doubled back. Kicked inside 50. Elijah Hollins got rid of his man. He's onto the footy. Gives the hand pass away. Kick comes from Carroll to the teeth of goal. Kemp's got to get into it. Can't. Knocked away. Wilson on the last line. Gave it to Wanganeen Millerer, who trusted his boot into the back pocket. Did it pretty well. Jones ran the gauntlet. Put it out in front of Burns. Paddled to his own advantage. Burns out of half back for the Saints. Steers it to Membry. Membry gives the hand pass to Jones, who kept going on the flyby. Guides the Saints beyond halfway to Clark. What a move this has been. Deep to the teeth of goal. A little stumble from Owens, and that broke down as a result. Wiedering onto the loose ball. Wants Carroll on the way out. Hills in the contest. It runs away from them and over the boundary, 60 from goal.
Superb ball movement by the Saints there. And well done to Wanganeen Millerer to not take the ball through. A little bit of pressure, but just decided, I can spot up a target 1 metre out from my defensive goal line. And from then, they just ran the ball out.
Picknett Marshall down the front. Walsh gets it off to Elijah Hollins to Cripps. Around the body quickly. Kicks it into space, but Sinclair tracked that back beautifully. Takes the mark. He's got one on down the line. That's Stocker, who kicks from home. He's a beautiful user of the footy, William Stocker. He just goes low and hard to the top of the square. Lets the big boys jump. Wiedering's doing a power work. Sharman gets the crumb and misses to the near side, but they are doing all of the attacking. 2 behinds this quarter for Cooper Sharman, and it's the 6th for St Kilda. 4-6-30, Carlton 3-3-21.
So if we have a look at the Hijaz Halal Financial Services stat sheet here, inside 50s 4-10 in favour of the Saints this quarter.
Newman, good kick in to Ollie Hollins, brings it up the wing. Kemp gets himself into it at the first bounce, and Owies is on ahead of the play. Owies gets it, has a look, hits the accelerator, has a bounce, cuts the 50, and then kicks it to 2 Saints players who are goaltending.
Just fatigue on the kick.
So he had Kennedy as the shorts.
Yep, that's your option.
And if you take it on, you better be kicking it into the back pocket. Stocker and out now to Steele.
That's as much as shot selection and recognising the moment, isn't it?
Steele long down the line to a milling pack. Underneath Filippo, 1 possession. Walsh jarred it clear and ends up with it thanks to Chincotta. Gives some ground to Newman. That's Newman thinking. So every player bar Wiedering ahead of him on the field. He's going to bite off the kick and does it so well to Elijah Hollins.
You've got to get the ball in the hands of Nick Newman, like if he's going to kick it like that.
Elijah Holland's up to full forward. Kennedy front position. Where are the Crummers? Wilkie was the first to it. Stocker had a double handle. Put Sinclair under the back. They fight for it. Wilkie wins it back. Off to Stocker. Then to Wanganeen Millerer. Rowan Marshall's back on the field. He's a bit hesitant as he goes after the ground ball. He's confronted. He's lost it. Owi's hand pass didn't find a teammate initially. Lord is onto it. Works it around to Binns. And then to Walsh. Good kick. Carroll takes the mark. Couple of steps inside the 50.
Very poor handball that went to Rowan Marshall, and thereafter he was tentative, thinking, I cannot overrun this footy, so he never really charged at it. That's just poor disposal. The Blues seize on that opportunity. One thing I saw with that Nick Newman kick, they have not been able to go inside forward 50 with all that greater advantage. I'd even look at trying to flip the situation and get Newman up around the middle a bit more so his kicks are going inside 50.
Jack Carroll being relied upon with a set shot. He leapt into it. Every man must serve on a day like today. And he hits the targets. 4-3-27 Carlton against the flow. 4-6-30 St Kilda. We are in time onto the second term for Selade. Seconds can be the difference between life and death. Make a difference with Selade.
Yeah, lovely finish there. Well harassed. They got the ball off the Saints when they were looking to clear again. So Newman's the interesting one. He kicks it the best, but if you've got him in the back line and you get the ball to him, he can pick the eyes out of it like that kick which went forward. But everything is ahead of him thereafter. I think if you play him on the wing, there's going to be more space inside forward 50 if you've got him in the midfield for a start. I think he could be a weapon if you just flip him. Get a defensive winger, start there and flip Newman onto the wing during play.
Term for MEGT. Back in the middle, Cripps almost gets away, wrapped up. The turnover's 4. Steele thumps it forward, top of the square. Higgins comes out, can't mark. Sharman got a hand to it. Ball hits the deck. Carlton got numbers back. Ball stays alive. Chincotta was good. Wiedering just hacks it quickly into space. Binns had to stand up in front of Hill. He did that. And the ball off hands goes out of bounds. 30 out from St Kilda's goal.
Just, it's hard to see the 25. A little man in the 25
yes.
after the mind's eye sees 25 from Brendan Favola or even the great Jezza. To see a little fella's kind of sight unusual.
Marshall, Pitnet. Marshall got the better of it. Walsh is working his backside off. Check sides it out of defensive 50 into the path of Motlop, who cannot get into the game. And off hands, the ball goes out of bounds. Carlton exit the defensive 50, so it's 2 kicks from St Kilda's goal. They're going to need these small forwards to impact at some stage collectively. All thrown in. Pitnet and Marshall again. Could have been some holding. Umpire let them play. No, there is a whistle. And honestly, I thought that would have gone the other way then. Through my eye, that looked like a free kick to Marshall. And somehow it's gone to Pitnet.
Free kicks, 12-2.
I've seen Indian crowds applaud less than that when they got an LBW. Long down the line, Sinclair off to Wilkie. And the Saints are just trying to get it back to halfway. Stocker's in and under after the kick of Burns. Ball held up, border. 3 minutes and change left in this second term. St Kilda by 3. Low scoring. 4 goals each. Ross Lyon is riding every moment of it as if it was his September fate that was in the balance. Marshall threw that ball out the side. Kick went forward. And mark is taken by Owens against the boundary.
Quietish so far. Mitchie Owens.
Owens a couple of decent kicks away from goal. The first lands 35 out. Sharman worked underneath it by Wiedering. The race on back to goal. It bounced over Chincotta. Akers went over. Leftwood standing. He snapped the goal. Too many mistakes in defence there. And a pretty simple goal to Mason Wood, who boots his second. Just gives St Kilda that breathing space again. They're 9-point leaders. Elders scoreboard, you can rely on Elders. 5-6-36 to Carlton 4-3-27.
So the kick comes in and the spoil by Wiedering is a body spoil. He shifts the whole pack under the footy. But what that did was allow the ball to hit end on end and keep rolling towards goal. So everybody turns around and it turns into a foot race. It turns into a raffle. And quite frankly, I'm happy with a raffle if you're a forward. Because if the backman gets it, he just kicks it back out. If the forward gets it, he's got a shot at goal. Forwards love that type of opportunity, a 50-50.
Dermot, for MEGT Australia's apprenticeship experts, deep into time on now in the second quarter. Ball in the middle. Cripps goes in, gets it out to Lord, threads the handball through to Hewitt. Got a bit of space, driving footy inside forward 50. They cannot find a target. Burns goes back and takes the mark well for the Saints. Good defensive work from the midfielder. Goes wide to Brad Hill, who marks in between back pocket and half-back, outer side of the ground. Lovely kick to Sinclair, who just got out the back of Elijah Hollands. Hill's foot skills were elite. Sinclair comes inboard, finds Butler.
This is not good. They can't stop St Kilda moving the ball. It's not as if St Kilda are changing lanes and taking it off the line.
Back to Hill. Low ball inside. Higgins takes the mark and caught one for his corner.
He's trying to draw a 50. He probably just got windburned from that. But you know what I'm saying? They're not changing lanes, St Kilda. They're not making Carlton go, oh, God, they've run us out of position here with that kicking. They've taken it off the line. They've come into the centre. No. It's straight lines. It's Ross's way. Straight lines, parallel to the boundary. Hit up a target. The only thing you've got to worry about is the depth of the kick coming forward.
The foot skills have been good. Higgins from 47. As good as directly in front. Tugs it badly to the left and it just scrapes through for his second behind of the afternoon. 5-7-37. Carlton 4-3-27. Deep into time on for Cell Aid.
Newman. Now the shots, the true shots at goal. Carlton have had 9. St Kilda have had 13.
Newman through to Cripps. Spoil made by Battle. Ball taken by Butler. Took them on. Lost the footy. Kicked it off the ground. Owens onto it. Hand passes to Steele. Caresses the ball into the pocket. Filippo's got company and he's outmarked by Akers. Blues have had trouble getting it out of defence during this second term. Akers goes for distance. Kemp's had one touch as he comes up to it. He can't take the mark. Lord knocks it on. Kennedy one way, Sinclair the other. Sinclair took the footy. Kennedy took him. Ball it up.
To the mind's eye, it just looks like the St Kilda team. Early on in this game, Carlton looked like they were winning more contested possession. It's flipped a bit. St Kilda look like they're stronger over the footy in the last 20 minutes.
Marshall hacks it off the turf. Got it going forward. Elijah Hollands in the tackle of Owens. Released the footy. Not to advantage though. Butler dropped that stone cold. Oh, whistle. Must be watching a different... Oh, yes.
Central umpire call
from the central umpire. So Cripps wins holding the ball.
They're just hanging on here, the Blues. But this is good. It's not their moment at this point in time. Fans it out wide to Hewitt. It's not their moment. So just limit the damage. It's not a huge lead. It's 10 points. So just limit the damage. Don't give up anything here while you're not playing well. You'll have your moments after half-time.
Hewitt kicks long down the line to the next pack. Pitnet flew at it. That is half-time. St Kilda lead it by 10 points. 5-7-37 to Carlton 4-3-27. Woods kicked 2. Marshall, Filippo and Membry one apiece. The Blues have got Carroll, Binns, Pitnet and Hewitt as their goal kickers. It is all rather makeshift. The Bulldogs won by 37 points. Carlton are trailing by 10 and Fremantle are waiting their turn against Port Adelaide. This is AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and Tyre Power, best on road.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Elders, your reliable partner in rural and regional Australia.
Buy a barbecue you'll actually love this Father's Day at Barbecues Galore. Like the Down Under 5-burner barbecue, just $3.99. And save 20% on the Gosney Rock Box, now $6.39. Plus epic gifts for Dad, under $30. In-store or online at Barbecues Galore.
The Quarter Pounder is an icon, but we're changing it. Ha! Try the Quarter Pounder Deluxe with lettuce and tomato, or the new Quarter Pounder barbecue bacon and crispy onions. Don't worry, you can still get the original. For Available after 10:30am for a limited time.
Look out for the sun. Come into your Sunrise local store and check out Sunny's latest promotion. It's the best within a country mile.
And you could turn your favourite snacks into fuel for a year. That's right. Buy any 2 participating products, scan to enter, and you could win fuel for a year. Plus, there's 28 $150 fuel cards up for grabs. So do what the locals do.
Sunrise, enjoy local choices, the best within a country. Sunrise, the store locals love.
Surely I'm alright to drive. Yeah. Only had, what, a few? Not enough to put me over. Oh, what?
Evening, driver. One long breath, please.
If you've been drinking, don't drive. Chances are you will be caught. A message from the TAC. Drive safely for everyone.
Hi, it's Shelley Craft. For locally made gift ideas that shine like green and gold, check out Australian Made's top Aussie products, the go-to resource to find the very best Aussie-made goodies. From handcrafted homewares and accessories to innovative Aussie inventions, you'll find a top Aussie product for every occasion. Each one carries the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo, so you can be sure it's genuinely Aussie. Hop to australianmade.com.au/top Aussie and support local while you shop.
Flat footy moments to avoid this season.
The second half.
At a Barbie, here's Jackson and his mates checking the stats for a multi. No! His battery goes flat! He can't get live updates!
Stay charged with a Signet power bank. Compact and lightweight, it fits in your pocket, and you'll never go flat or miss any part of the game. Signet power banks, available at signet.com, as well as in-store at JB Hi-Fi and other leading retailers.
Until recently, the only way to fix a leaking sewer drain inside the walls of a building was to smash through the walls. But Repiper's revolutionary relining system from the Drain Man relines sewer drains from the inside without damaging the walls, floors or other pipework and minimises reinstatement. This unique step-by-step system is purpose designed for vertical sewer stacks, so it won't let you down. That's the Drain Man difference. Call 1-800-843-372.
The Drain Man.
Whether you need to build, repair, or create, there's a Loctite product for all your project needs. Whether you're doing small or big projects, Loctite provides DIYers, tradies and engineers with reliable adhesive and sealant solutions. From the smallest details to your biggest ambitions, Loctite goes beyond the bond to help you get your job done right. For more information and to find your closest Loctite product stockist, search Loctite today.
Looking for a super fund that is halal and affordable? Get Halal Super from Hijaz Financial Services. We help Australians invest their super while your funds remain true to your values. Hijaz Financial Services, keeping halal super affordable. HijazFS.com.au. This information is provided by Hijaz Financial Advisors Proprietary Limited, AFSL 517686, and Hijaz Islamic Credit Solutions Proprietary Limited, ACL 480542, and does not take into account your objectives, financial situation or needs.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumo Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
Long ball inside. Kemp's got 3 up against him. Ground ball to be won. Fantasia tackles. Battle. Put it into dispute. Cripps onto it. Gave it to Newman. Fought his way through. Then to Pitnet. Didn't get enough on the kick. Oh, it ran on and bounced through. You couldn't believe it.
Ball thrown in. Chance for the Saints. Filippo. Snap goal. He loves it. Out of nowhere.
Macca's. I'm loving it moments. The new quarter pounder range at Macca's.
Indeed, it is. It's a 10-point margin here at halftime. Thankfully, under the roof as the weather's kicked in across Victoria and sweeping across Melbourne. St Kilda 5-7-37 lead the Blues again. The Carlton must win to guarantee themselves a spot in the finals. If they get beaten here, they're going to be hoping that Port Adelaide can get over the top of Fremantle in the last of the games of the home and away season for 2027. They trail St Kilda by 10 points. It's time for the Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show. Choices Flooring, stylish and healthy.
The Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show. Sail on for family-friendly carpet.
Stats are fairly even across the board at halftime between these two, but it's the cleanliness of ball use that St Kilda's been displaying that's given them the 10-point edge, and that's revealed itself in just the pure marking numbers. 73 to 50 is the team stat that jumps off the page at you. They are finding open teammates far more regularly than Carlton, and as Doom said a couple of times for MEGT, they have been able to move the footy from one end of the ground with precise kicking. Carlton have not been able to match that throughout the first half. Whether they're going to be able to find a way in the second or it's just going to be a hard grind, time will tell. Power play rankings for Red Energy for 100% Australian electricity and gas. It is Nick Newman and George Hewitt with 71 apiece who lead the way. Matthias Filippo, Rowan Marshall, Jack Sinclair are the next three, and they are the only other three over 60 points. Filippo 70 rankings points at halftime, Marshall 65 and Sinclair 61 for Red Energy, 100% Australian and electricity and gas. Unmissable moments for Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you Drinkwise. Haven't been terribly many in what's been a tough and pretty dour opening half here. The two snaps we just heard in the highlights for Maccas coming out of the ad break, they're probably the ones. Two snap goals from Mark Pitnet and Matthias Philippou. One was particularly lucky, that the Carlton ruckman. The other one was high quality, the St Kilda young forward who had very little time to move and think his way through the opportunity that presented itself to him, but he did it beautifully. And they are unmissable moments. You won't miss them if you choose to drink wise. Key matchups playing out for Seek. Better job matches with Seek. Simply Seek and you shall find. The most interesting one was probably at the start of the game when former Blue Liam Stocker went on to Patrick Cripps, and he's done a pretty good job, Stocker, so far. Hasn't had an awful amount of it himself. Cripps has had 14 to half-time, just the two clearances, but everything he's been involved in has felt hurried. He hasn't had the room to move that was afforded to him by West Coast last week. We saw what he was able to do when given the time and space that the Eagles allowed to him. Stocker has not given him an inch today, and everything that Cripps has had, and we know how important he is for Carlton's prospects, has been under pressure. So we'll keep an eye on that matchup for Seek and you shall find. Crucial moments in New Farm. Halfway through that second quarter, Rowan Marshall came off the ground and was in the hands of the trainers for several minutes. The blue line went through his name on the Champion Data stat sheet, which is never a good sign when players are getting assessed, but the blue line was removed pretty quickly and Marshall finished the quarter on the ground. It may have been a particularly crucial moment for New Farm had he not been able to get back on the ground. Who's making it look easy? Kick off your next painting project with Monarch. Painting made easy, available at Bunnings Warehouse. A lot of the St Kilda kickers are making it look pretty easy at the moment, particularly off half-back and out of their defensive 50. But Isaiah Wanganeen Miller is the one. He just knows how good he is with ball in hand and is prepared to let the opposition players come at him before he pulls the trigger, and he more often than not finds the target. It is a joy watching him play his footy. Clangers for Amy to half-time. When Clangers happy, lucky you are with Amy. Some of the goal kicking early from the Blues from the set shot was poor. It was matched by a couple of shockers from Jack Higgins and might have been Matthias Philippou as well, who sprayed one from about 30 way left in the second quarter. So some of the set shot goal kicking has been particularly poor in perfect conditions. Lucky you're with Amy. So it's half-time. It's the Saints by 10 points. The player of the first half for TR Group, commercial truck and trailer rentals and lease. If you were playing the stats game purely, you'd be looking at a couple of blue baggers, but I would have thought that it would be shared somewhere between Sinclair and Wanganeen Miller as the ones who are probably having the most impact on the game, particularly with ball in hand at the moment for the TR Group truck and trailer rentals. Don't forget, head to Friends of Fire for a drink or bite to eat pre-halftime or post-game here. It's a magnificent establishment within an outstanding venue. It's a gate through at Marvel Stadium. Be sure to enter their competition while you're there for a chance to win a $150 voucher. The good people at Friends of Fire. BWS's refreshing stat BWS have got your drinks for game day sorted. That's refreshingly BWS. The past 5 home matches between Carlton and St Kilda at Marvel have been won by the home team. Despite the lack of a home ground advantage, Carlton, just in case you didn't know, is the home team for this game. They trail by 10 points, however, at half-time. That was the Choices Flooring half-time floor show. Breeze, Gennaro and Plantino. Stylish, healthy flooring for spring.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumo Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
Grab a quick lunch, but make a McSmart with a new McSmart meal from Macca's. Whether it's drive-through, front counter or kiosk, grab your choice of 2 burgers plus a small fries and a small soft drink for $6.95. Available 10:30am to midnight at participating restaurants. Excludes McDelivery.
Kickstart your fitness journey with Snap Fitness. Join now for just $4 per week for the first 4 weeks. Enjoy premium gyms and equipment to support your fitness goals. Snap Fitness. Your fitness journey starts here. T's and C's apply. Participating clubs only.
Convenience is the key when it comes to Melbourne Airport's terminal parking. Located directly opposite Terminals 1, 2, 3 and at Terminal 4, you'll be at the check-in counter in no time. With just a few minutes walk to the terminals. Plus, getting in and out is easy. Online bookings include a convenient QR code for smoother entry and exit. Just scan it at the gate and you're ready to go. Park with ease at Melbourne Airport. Book online for the best rates at melbourneairport.com.au.
Last Father's Day, the Sports Socks got a lukewarm reception. Yeah. This year, get him a fragrance from Chemist Warehouse that will make him go, yes! Like Parker Rabanne Invictus 100ml, $109.99. Hugo Boss Bottled 100ml, $69.99. Mont Blanc Legend 100ml, $59.99. Or Dolce & Gabbana The One for Men 100ml, $89.99. For big brand fragrances at the lowest prices this Father's Day, it's gotta be Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Sustained performance in footy is more than just one great game. It's about playing consistently, game after game, season after season. Host Plus has delivered strong performance over the long term with top returns over 20 years. A top performing super fund over the long term? That's a plus.
Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Super Ratings SR50 Balance Index January 2024. General advice only. Consider your circumstances and the relevant Host Plus PTS and TMD at hostplus.com.au before deciding. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Search Compare Host Plus today.
Hi, Josh Kennedy here. Have you received an electricity or gas price increase? Or you're worried about rising energy costs? Give Red Energy a call. Their Aussie-based team will give you a no-obligation energy bill comparison, and you might be surprised by what they have to offer. Plus, Red Energy is owned by Snowy Hydro, a leader in renewable energy. Give 100% Australian-owned Red Energy a call today on 131 806 or visit redenergy.com.au. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
G'day, Merv Hughes here. New Farm's been there for Aussie growers for 100 years, through prosperity and heartache, drought and flame, through the unprecedented and through innovation. New Farm's high-quality crop protection products are formulated right here in Australia because Aussie growers are tougher together through choosing Australian. New Farm understands local conditions and the importance for Aussie growers to have the right products at the right time. New Farm, Australian through and through. To learn more, visit newfarm.com.au.
They say when one door, another door opens. And here at
Sheen Panel Service,
we are doing exactly that as we open the doors, recruiting new managers. We fully train you, so no previous skills necessary. You get a genuine career path. We offer RDOs and employee assistance programs. You enjoy perks like a company car. We have a location near you, and you have a career just waiting for you. Sheen Panel Service need managers, and we need them fast. Head straight over to sheengroup.com.au.
Sheen Panel Service.
Catch up on all the latest scores and news.
Collingwood take the final step on the stairway to premiership heaven.
In the time it takes to get from the car park to the office with SEN's The Day's Play.
In Adelaide, Team Ripper GC take out the title.
Loose ball goes that way again. Oh, he's a magician.
Our team go over the big matches and big moments.
Ty Webster, he shoots the bench to Tasmania.
SEN's The Day's Play. Thanks to Drinkwise. If you're choosing to have a drink, choose to Drinkwise.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumo Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
St Kilda by 10 points, half-time here at Marvel Stadium, 5-7-37 over the Blues, 4-3-27. Police are conducting interviews down in the Carlton stronghold at the left-hand end, where during that term a bottle was thrown, struck the goal umpire in the back of the head, left him bleeding. He's come from the field during that and been replaced, and the search for the perpetrator is very much on, using the in-stadium vision and the interviews that are taking place at the moment. Dermot Brereton is our expert for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship experts. Where are we, Derm?
So we've only got 9 goals kicked. I don't think it's going to be, no one's going to end up kicking another 8 to 10 goals in the second half. It's going to be a 5 or 6 goal second half by whichever team will win the game. They'll hold the others well enough. It will break open a little bit more in play as fatigue sets in, but we need the Blues to find a better avenue, and I'm not talking so much about personnel. We know they're limited there, but they do need to find a better way to get the ball through the goals rather than just bombing it in. We saw that in the first quarter. Then they changed it in the second quarter and tried to control the footy. They took some more uncontested marks, but what it did, it allowed Ross Lyon to march more players back and get that density of numbers so that it's more difficult to spot the ball in there. So we need to play that somewhere in between game where they can advance the ball at a bit of pace, but not willy-nilly and just hoik it up in the air at St Kilda's request. So, yeah, hopefully that will happen. The Saints need to keep steamrolling the ball the way they do. When they get the ball on the half-back line and the field is spread, they've actually run the ball very well into their forward line. And we have Membry and Sharman who will lead at the ball carrier, and they're supplying a good target, 2 targets for the Saints as they advance the ball. It's interesting how they play Wiedering. It's like they try and use the ball short and will go anywhere to any target that doesn't have Jacob Wiedering loitering in the air, so he can be an effect on that spoil or intercept. So it's a game of chess within this second half, and whoever executes best will probably, regardless of the fact that one team's 10 points ahead, whoever executes best in the second half will win this game.
So they've got Fantasia and Motlop, who are complete non-factors. Moyer's the sub. Is there a role for Moyer, do you think, Andy?
I think there is, Jared. He can go vertical. He can do some things that none of these other small forwards can do. He can pose some sort of aerial threat. And Brody Kemp was outstanding last week, but this is a completely different game. Last week there was no energy from a West Coast perspective to get back and clog up the space. That's completely different here today.
That's why I worried about Kemp when I said he ran himself under the ball the very first contest, and there was no touch on him. That's all on your timing. And then you have the next couple of contests later, he ran himself and jumped. When the ball was still 40 metres away. His timing's out. So they've got to find that best way to get that ball through the goals.
So if Motlop's playing on Wanganeen Miller, that's not really working.
No.
He's had 14 and he's done as he likes. And you got to run the quick equation. Where are you most likely to get 2 goals from? Is it going to be Fantasia? Is it going to be Motlop? Or is it going to be Moyer?
Well, it looks like they're going to back this in. The game plan they went with right from the start, and I wouldn't be surprised if St Kilda kick the first and stretch this out as we get underway, whether there might be some moves made from a Carlton perspective. Hewitt from the restart gets the first footy forward for the Blues, hacks it inside forward 50. Owi's in front. Motlop gets a hand to it, can't take the footy. Steele goes in with both hands, can take it, dispossessed. In goes Sinclair, emerging as a factor, gets it to Battle. His kick batted down by Akers, gathers his own crumb, hard up against the boundary, drops it into a hole. Kennedy coming at it. Wilkie gets back, gets hands on it, fighting hard. Motlop caught one high. The umpire says, I'll ball it up. Incidental contact from the Carlton small forward.
Worth another look, though, wasn't it?
Now that he's tried to draw the free kick, 12 metres out, ball thrown up. Critch tries to take a Motlop, slice his way through the stoppage, but his kick misses to the near side. So perhaps a sign that he's going to inject himself into the contest. 4-4-28, 5-7-37 scoreboard for Host Plus this quarter.
All right, so the ball's kicked back into the ground by the crowd. And so that has to be retrieved, and Wanganeen Malera will take his time coming out. They've got to hold the ball in the forward half of the ground here. They've got to put some pressure back on the Saints defenders.
Anthony Miller wanders out and he's got the short to Wood. That's a bit disappointing on such a static play.
We'll see how spread they are in their zone. They spread Carlton so far.
Inboard to Howard. Howard's got the kick to a contest, a 2-on-1 against Cowan, but it had too much on it and it drifts over the boundary out on the full. So the Blues have it. Young with footy in hand. It's a static setup up ahead. He kicks it to the 50, and that's too easy for Howard to be taking the intercept mark.
So at games like this, where Dougal Howard, who just intercept marked that ball, kicks to Sinclair now, you've got to make him accountable on the deck. It sounds weird, but the old let's kick dirty ball into our forward line is probably better.
Sinclair down the line, big pack fly, start at ground level, takes the footy across the boundary line in front of the St Kilda interchange gates. We'll have a boundary throw in. Yeah, and the traditional crummer, Dermot, Motlop didn't fly. He expected Kennedy to be able to make the contest, but Kennedy can't make that contest, so that the third man has to do something different.
He should have made it too. Free kick on this plate. He should have made it because it was a long set play. He started 20 metres further behind him.
So the free kick goes to Cripps. I'm sure anybody quite knew what it was for. He goes very short to Elijah Hollands, edge of the centre square. We'll go wide to Akers, who just camped on the boundary line. Just drew the kick.
He's got Newman's side. I'll just give it to him. He's the best kick in the team for spotting up. There's space at centre half forward. It's risky now, but if he puts it there, they'll get a shot at goal.
So he had to
keep it safe. No, he goes
now he
there.
comes off the line. He wants Cripps, who comes out, it can't mark. Owens was with him. Ball spits out. Carlton got numbers. Owies gets it to Hollands. The tackling outstanding. Webster dispossessed. Ball drops on the arc of 50. The umpire says play on.
Both coaches would be happy with that. There's going to be a ball up. They'd be happy with the endeavour there.
Pitnet Marshall. Pitnet works him off the drop zone, only as far as Stocker, wrapped up by Cripps. We'll have another ball up.
Up she goes. Pitnet tapped it back over his head, hoping for Cripps, who's got it. Puts the hand pass out in front of Motlop. Hill's going to beat him to it. So Hill and Motlop, they tow it off the ground. Hill toward the boundary. Umpire says throw it in. No joy for insufficient intent.
I think he kind of disguised that fairly well, as if the ball got tangled up in his feet. And
it's a real struggle these opening 4 minutes of the second half. Chincotta at the stoppage. Hand pass wasn't effective. Sinclair away to Clark as a result. Kicks the Saints down the wing. There's 6 men there, and Sharman flies across the front and takes the mark.
Young had that. He should have made better than that.
Pass comes up to Membry, who's going to roll and give them a look. He didn't get enough on the kick, and he's turned it straight over to Akers.
Who goes quickly to Elijah Holland, centre half back. He fans it out wide to Sard, who goes short to Newman. So 4 quick possessions. He goes back to Sard. Now has a bounce into space. Owies is riding wide for him. Takes the mark.
See, with pace, he plays on and gets it to Cripps in the forward pocket. Now Cripps is surrounded. Goes short now.
Carroll demanded the footy come to him. It was an honest lead. He goes to Hollands. Elijah. 2 kicks out from goal. He almost had Akers. Just couldn't pull the trigger on the kick. Now Wheels. Lower ball, top of the square. Can somebody jump and get there? Knows the answer. Cripps was down there off hands. It goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. Hard up against the Carlton behind post. 4-4 plays 5-7 TAC. If you've been drinking, don't risk driving. TAC. So the Blues having some territory. Can they put it on the board? Pitnet and Marshall. Pitnet front position. Neither Ruttman gets anything on it. Pitnet eventually out the back. Bizarre kick from Mason Wood. Check side. Could have been marked by Newman. Probably should have been in the end. Ball spits to ground level. Sard weaves his way through. Cowan around the body. Bombs it back top of the square, but they've got all the numbers. They've got all the height. And Mason Wood dropping back takes a very timely mark.
Wood on the way out.
He's going to find Wilson. Spread.
Wilson just wrong foots his man on the boundary side. Webster fumbled the hand pass, has to go back and get it, is confronted, retreats. Wilkie, got to be mowed down by Kemp. Ball, they yell, and finally it's paid. Kemp's got to get up and get it going.
Will that motivate them? They should have scored out of that, the Saints. They fluffed their own line there.
Inboard to Walsh. Walsh has got the pass inside 50 to Carroll. When I say inside 50, it really is at the 50. And Carroll wanted to get it back to Walsh. It wasn't the worst way of thinking. It was just a bit too narrow.
Back himself again.
Carroll's going to wind it up. He's come a long way inboard. He's thumped it up near the teeth of goal. It clears the pack for a behind. 8-point deficit for Host Plus.
Oh, they're off already.
Wanganeen Miller just caught everybody napping. Has a bounce, finds Stocker. He goes down the line. The kick won't have enough on it. Sard up in front, but Higgins read the crumb. Oh, had that been not been batted down, it would have been St Kilda out. But unfortunately for Elijah Hollins, who got the crumb, Higgins was awake to it, ran him down, wins the free kick back. Clark gets it to Sinclair. They rumble through the middle of the ground. Beautiful kick to Membry.
It was a beautiful kick, Andy. Membry marks in the forward pocket, 25 metres out. Sharpish angle, but Membry summed that up really quickly. He saw the direction the ball was taking to the centre of the ground. He identified the open pocket to the far side of the ground. He drew that ball then. Good forward smarts by a really crafty, clever forward.
And he knew the bloke who had the ball in his hand to him. It was good enough to find
him. Get it there, yep.
So it's a set shot from about 30 out. Tightish angle, but well within Tim Membry's grasp. And he pops it through. That's his second for the afternoon. And it's the telling first in a low-scoring game of the third. And it belongs to St Kilda. 6-7-43, the Saints. Carlton 4-5-29. 8 minutes gone into this third quarter, all for Host Plus. Been named Money Magazine's best super fund for 2024. That's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Proprietary Limited. Check the PDS and Team D at hostplus.com.au.
So we're still in that grinding period of the game where neither team's really making the quick break, and we're not fatiguing the opposition. Apart from that play then, neither team has really been trying to move the ball at express pace, so neither opposition is getting taxed physically. So there's still plenty left in the tank. This is, as I said, that's execution. That was a great execution of that pass into that pocket where Membry drew the footy.
It's an encapsulation of the difference between the two sides. Marshall wins the tap. Walsh has first access. He's hot and he's coughed it up. Hand passed it away. Dow steers the Saints inside 50. Towed on. Sard hacked it out of midair to clear the 50, but who's going to get onto it? Jones grapples. Elijah Hollins brings him down. Umpire to ball it up. Just the possessions marginally in St Kilda's favour. Net and Marshall. Marshall got tackled. Good job. That looked like holding the ball. Didn't get paid. Dow round to Jones, tackled by Walsh, held up, ball it up. Right half forward for the Saints. Marshall and Picknett, they tap it out wide. Clark, first access, tosses it inside 50. Sard dropped the mark that he should have taken, paddles it to Ollie Hollins and away to Cowan, who clears the area. Saints have got 3-on-1 against. Kemp can't do anything about it as Wood stands his ground and takes the mark. He delivers well on the 45. Clark, eager to get it on. He plays it out the fat side. Higgins will run onto it. And therein lies the difference again.
They are identifying the, as you called it, Jared, beautifully, the fat side. So all the traffic stands between the kicker and the goals, and you assume that that's the line they're going to take. And it leaves that little pocket of space out the far side, the fat side. Higgins identifies that, sprints there, receives.
Higgins on the move, flings himself around the corner and kicks the goal. And the Saints have a 20-point lead. 7-7-49 to Carlton 4-5-29. On the Host Plus scoreboard, these are crucial moments for New Farm.
So that kick that got to Hunter Clark, that beautiful little spot kick, 15, 18 metres over the top of traffic and gets it to Hunter Clark, who's 55 to 60 metres out. Haven't seen that from Carlton. When they're 70 metres out, they look long to the goal square. They're not looking to, let's give it to somebody who can kick the eyes out of it somewhere and with deliberate purpose from about 55 out.
Dermot for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship experts. It's a telling move by the Saints, the first two of the third. Can the Blues muster a response? Pitnet in the middle, gives it to Lord, cruising by Cripps. On his left to Akers at half forward. He goes back with the fly to the ball and takes a brave mark. Oh, and there's a 50.
Old teammates.
Battle stood his ground and just gently put the shoulder between the 1 and the 3. Didn't seem to be terribly much. And I'm not sure the controlling umpire paid that either, to be honest.
Having a look at this. He did go the ball. The spoiling arm came through, but he professionally knew what he was doing. He put his right hip into the small of his back while he was feigning a real attempt to spoil.
Akers played it well for what it's worth.
He has, yeah. So he's 20 out directly in front. He really has to kick the goal, and he does. So Carlton get one. Akers goes on with it here.
Well,
so there's a little dust up at the top of the square. Blake Akers had made up his mind he was going to have something to say after that.
I can tell you, Andy, those two are old teammates, and Blake Akers knows he's fighting a losing battle there. But he just has to fly the flag. He kicked the goal, so he's given it to Joshy Battle. Played a lot of footy together, those two.
7-7, 49-5, 5-35, 12 and a half gone. Third quarter for Host Plus. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power.
Does Blake Akers normally wear shoulder strapping, Andy?
He generally wears strapping somewhere.
Whatever it was, he's like the Hulk. He's just ripped it off. I mean, Hulk Hogan, that is. He just ripped it off and handed it to the trainer.
Let's see if that gives the Blues a rise. They're down by 14. Young's gone into the ruck against Sharman. Sharman spikes it forward for the Saints. Jones knocks it their way. Dow, Sharman, kick was smothered by Young, who did well. The ricochet tumbles out toward the boundary. Wilson led the chase to it. Dow tried to fight the tackles, released the footy. Out near the boundary and over.
Gee, that's a good fight by the Saints, isn't it? That is physically up for the challenge. Everything about that was max effort in the tackle, taking the ball, knowing you're going to take the tackler's weight immediately after.
Mason Wood's got no one on him here at this boundary throw-in.
Right half forward for the Saints. Cripps takes it out of the ruck, hands it off to Newman, kicks the ball down the wing. Up comes Wilkie.
He's got him rattled.
Took hold of him. Advantage is paid. Stocker brings it inboard. Steele has footy in hand.
Yeah, Wilkie's got Camp completely rattled.
Steele up to the teeth of goal. Membry has the fly. Wiedering made the spoil. Walsh underneath. Hand pass without conviction. Wilson is onto it for the Saints. Hand pass to Burns. Kicks from the boundary. Found the target. Big goal for St Kilda. They answer the Carlton challenge and reset the margin to 20 points. 8-7-55 to Carlton. 5-5-35 are the goal of the day contender for Corteva. Keep growing with Corteva Agri-Science.
We often speak about the season going too long for some teams, and Carlton might prove to be a classic example. It might have gone 3 to 4 games too long for the Blues to get their best footy out or come back with their best footy in the back half of the season. It's just been a long journey for them with their injuries. Very rarely do we say the season hasn't gone long enough, and I reckon the season hasn't gone long enough for St Kilda. They found their mojo. They're not the most talented team list in the comp, but they found their mojo. They found a method. I mean, Sharman into the ruck, he was a relief ruck. He jumped so high.
He goes again. Young had a look at it, but couldn't take it with him. Stocker could. Cripps gets the loose footy that eventually presented itself to him. Wanganeen Miller just with a little touch handball. Didn't find his man, but still goes in and mops it up. Gets it to Wood. Off to Jones. Pokes it into space. Cripps read it and cut across Dow and takes the mark.
Oh, he's looking up and he's seeing St Kilda a wall at half back.
There's not a Carlton player above 6 foot in front of him at the moment, so...
Well, he's down the... Yeah. Where's it out wide now?
To Wiedering.
I'd be swapping Kemp back. Now, you've got to try something. Throw Kemp back. You know he can defend. And, gee, I don't know if you've ever had Jacob Wiedering up there, but you've got to have somebody to stand under it and mark something forward of the footy.
Newman down the line. Kemp comes at it. Wilkie with him every step of the way. Jones takes the crumb, gets it off to Wood. Thumping footy into a bunch of Carlton jumpers. Newman's trying his absolute guts out down there. Takes the mark, goes back hard, gives it to Wiedering. Urged on by the Carlton faithful who know they need something now. Gets it to Binns. Comes in quickly to Hollins, who's in the corridor. Got a bit of room to move. Short ball pokes it to Lord. Lord will go out wide to Binns, who keeps on running. Runs through the logo, out of sight of Marvel. Now goes low and strong. Kemp comes at it, can't take the mark, brings it to ground level. Fantasia spins out. He needs the bounce now. He needs the bounce! It's the best passage of play for the Blues today. And Fantasia steps up when the moment presented. And they stay alive. 8-7-55 St Kilda. Carlton 6-5-41 Host Plus scoreboard.
So Orazio Fantasia, 5 possessions today. He's never going to be a 14, 15, 18 possession player again. His body hasn't held well enough together for him. But what he can do is give you moments of brilliance by foot. He can get the ball through the goals. And when that ball travelled from end to end, Andy, as you said, it was the best passage. I don't know if it was their best, but it was the quickest the ball's moved.
Yeah.
Without much risk. Most of their risk has been taken because they've given the ball hang time. That was low risk, moving it quickly, and Fantasia finds a bit of space for a scramble ground level ball.
The next goal is everything. Carlton have put all their guns in the middle. Pitnet's dragged to ground and he gets a kick up forward. It slews up past Durden. Battle didn't quite deal with it the way that he might have. Great work from Lord. He's hand passed over the head. He kept it going though. Lord to Hewitt to Cripps, just trying to find the way. Anything. A kick which didn't go far. Hunter Clark got stuck with it on the bounce. Ball it up.
And this is a good place to have a throw up here. Pitnet comes in and he's pretty good in the side-on battle.
Marshall, the clean tap, down to Filippo, taken to ground by Walsh. Ball it up.
This is going to be a grind, this one here. Big pack around the ball.
Blackman go to work. Marshall taps it down. Walsh was hunting the footy. Hunter was hunting him. Off the ground goes Wood. Hasn't really cleared the area. Good gather by Binns. Gave it to Chincotta. Couldn't quite get clear. Hand pass to Hewitt. Had to give some ground. Binns another go. He's kicked it up into the pocket. Durden goes the spoil. Ground ball to be won. Butler got rid of it just before he was tackled. Sinclair, Wanganeen, Millerer. Close into Webster. St Kilda find the way to get it to the wing and their numbers are out the back. Higgins is onto it. He's got them inboard. He probes for Hill. He takes the mark and pulls up. Now he'll kick. Jones is hurtling toward goal. He'll mark and run it in. The sheer pace of St Kilda with the break off half back. And they quill the Carlton challenge. 9-7-61 the Saints. The Blues 6-5-41 for Host Plus.
Gee, they look quick then, didn't they? And those two blokes, we know what Zach Jones is. He's quickish by league standards, but he's not. He's not in the top 20 quickest in the league, but he's just able to expose the fat side again coming in. Higgins got the ball. Hill ran onto it as well. When they made their mind up, this is the break, they took off. They took off nice and early. And Hilly just checked and made sure he put that ball to perfect advantage. What a great Hill kick it was across the spine into the path of Zach Jones.
So back in the middle, it's goal for goal all of a sudden. Pitnet and Marshall lock horns again. Pitnet takes the footy, gives it to Hewitt. Got a bit of room to move. Flips it over the top to Elijah Hollins. Gives the handball to Lord. Gives it to Akers, 30 out. Must kick the goal. He does.
Well done.
This game has come alive. Akers kicks his second for the term. And Carlton refused to go away for now. 9-7-61 St Kilda. Carlton 7-4-47 for Host Plus.
Yeah, Blake Acres found himself all by himself. I've got a feeling Brad Hill, after that big run down the outer wing for the St Kilda goal, ran to this side of the ground and tried to interchange himself, but they turned him around and he just didn't have the legs. This is unusual because he's one of the fittest blokes to ever play the game. Blake Acres got dangerous. Goal side of him. A couple of old teammates as well.
Couple of goals from centre clearance for the Blues. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power best on road. Cripps and Hewitt and Lauder in the middle. Tap came the way of Cripps. Busts a tackle. Kicks the Blues inside 50. Kemp makes the contest. Kennedy's got to work underneath. Initially, Burns had the first touch. Sinclair works it out to Steele, who links it up to Wilson. Hands it off to Webster. St Kilda steady on the way out. Chincotta disrupted the play, but he gave up a free kick in the process. Clark took the advantage. Maybe he wishes he hadn't. Higgins dropped the mark. Sard tidied up, gave it to Cripps. Carlton come forward again. Hewitt will take the mark. 2 runners breaking. He didn't give it, so he's in the tackle. Had to release it quickly. Bins inside 50. Kennedy goes back with the flight. Wanganeen Miller has slapped it onto the boot. Cleared the defensive 50. Has to be dealt with. Wilson did well. Knocked it down to Hunter Clark and off to Filippo. Kicks into centre field for Higgins. St Kilda threatened to use their speed again. Jones out on the wing. He gathers in an acre. Steadies himself. Steers it up to half forward. Mark taken by Filippo. Blues scramble their numbers back, so Filippo will have to take his time and probably pump it right to the goal line. He's been called to play on, umpire having none of the fact that he was thinking about a shot. Filippo does pump it to the goal line. Wiedering, terrific stuff.
He's so powerful, isn't he?
Takes the intercept mark on the behind line.
Zach Jones is creating some issues. He's coming up the ground. Nick Newman's following him. Jones has gone to the half-forward flank, I might add. And then Newman drifts off him, trying to quarterback the situation. And Jones is getting the ball in space.
Wiedering goes down the line. Marking contest off hands out of bounds. 70 out now from the St Kilda goal. 23 minutes gone, third quarter. I'm a bit free-flowing all of a sudden. Ball thrown up. Marshall in front. Wins it comprehensively, but only as far as Lord. Gets it to Ollie Hollins around the body. St Kilda got good numbers here. Cripps was in the middle of a few, but Clark couldn't control it. And off hands it goes out of bounds again.
Last 8 minutes, Paddy Cripps has had 6 possessions. He's been huge for them. 3 of them contested.
So Stocker looks like he's coming off here, and Garcia is going to be inserted into the game here for the Saints. Ball thrown in. Pitches. Pitnet stays in front. Held. Free kick. He's working his backside off against. In fact, it was holding to Cripps off the footy. Steele can't believe it. Goes in towards the corridor. It's a beautiful kick to Binns, who came up at him from half forward. He's got Chincotta running out wide. In a bit of space. Runs to 52. Driving footy's poor. Howard juggled it on the 4th or 5th attempt. Luckily, hangs on and takes the mark. Goes short to Wood. He's got a bit of time and space. Gives it to Clark. His handball was under pressure and gave Wanganeen Miller a no chance off his hands out of bounds. Level boundary thrown about 50 out from the Carlton goal.
Yeah, rocket handball from about 2.5 metres away. Yeah, Nick Del Santos just informed me that Stocker got injured on the other side of the ground and had trouble getting off, and that's Cripps got free for the last few minutes. So Stocker is out of the game now.
Hitting it down to Cripps, off to Walsh, kicks to the hot spot, it works. Owens has front position. Takes the tumbling mark, 20 out.
Cripps again, Dermot.
Yeah, so I would think that Jack Steele, they will go to Jack Steele now and say, you know what, this is a change of plans. You can never set for this, but you've got to lead this team now and lead it by taking the scalp of the opposition's captain. So this is on Jack Steele now to quell what Patrick Cripps is brewing.
Carlton have worked so hard to peg this back. Owies to make it an 8-point deficit, and he's done it. trying to lift with every fibre of their being. 8-5-53 Carlton. St Kilda 9-7-61. There's 4.5 remaining in the third term for Host Plus.
He has been super cripper, hasn't he?
Worked his way into the game.
How often does he do it for this team? A touch of luck, you got to say, with Stocker, he's beaten Stocker, but he hasn't been his usual Patrick Cripps. So Cripps has had a real effect on him to the point where the Saints have got the game where they wanted it. But then when Cripps was able to do that stand up in the tackle, Stocker's such a powerful man. He'll thwart that handball. So, yeah, this is, steal over to him now.
Doom for MEGT, 4 goals apiece for the term. Marshall and Pitnet. Marshall gets the better of it. But into space. Cripps gets onto it first. They come at him from all over the place. Sinclair was very important. Dow gets the crumb. Thumps it to centre half forward. Young comes out of the footy. Should have marked it. Dropped it. Gives St Kilda a chance. Sard goes in, farms the hairball out to Binns, out the back door to Cowan, just thumps it away up towards the wing position, out of side of the ground. Cripps goes up, can't mark, Jones at ground level, sits over the top of the footy, ball spills out, someone's dragged it in there, it comes out, Dow, wrapped up, umpire said it was a slinging tackle.
Oh, that's going to hurt the supporters.
Saints are going to move it quickly. Hand pass went the way of Burns. Delivers up to the 50. Owens was assaulted. Ball comes clear. Filippo hand passes it forward. Owens knocked off the footy. Towed on by Sharman. All the way to the boundary for a throw in.
They're not happy.
Nothing subtle about this anymore, is there? I don't think that's a dangerous tackle. Left forward pocket for St Kilda. They lead it by 8 points. Tap comes to the front, nothing from it. Dow taken to ground by Hewitt. Having just seen a dangerous tackle, that's a brave move taking him to ground. Deep forward for the Saints. Pitnet's kicked it out of mid-air. Wiedering spikes it only as far as Jones. Hand pass to Owens. Kick around the corner was on target. Young gets a fist to it. Sees it through for a rush behind. St Kilda by 9. We're in time on for Selade. Seconds can be the difference between life and death. Make a difference with Selade.
Well, the Blues have at least proved to themselves they can get the excitement into this game and score. So we're on for the final quarter.
Newman goes driving down the line. Kemp came from a long way back to try and affect the contest. It spits out the back to Wanganeen. Miller, always dangerous. He's such a beautiful user. And he finds Mason Wood.
Just the way he ran away from Blake Acres to draw him to him to make a bit of space behind there. Clever.
Wood plays on, drops it into the hole. Lee Good's fist from Sard. It was on the chest of Filippo. Spits out the back to Marshall. Into the corridor. Not going to have enough on it for Dow. Has to go back and find the footy. Cripps hunted him. Oh, and then he's been... How is that in the back? How is that in the back? We'll have a look at the replay. Cripps has fallen on Dow right at the end. Perhaps that's what the umpire's seen. But
we'll get a look at it this angle on replay. The initial... Oh, yeah. He threw his own knees out. He tackled him from behind. And that's fine, no problem. But in the end, he threw his own knees out, Patrick Cripps, and that took his weight and Dow's weight to the ground face first.
So Dow's got the free kick from 48. He sends it on its way, and it'll be a very sweet strike for Paddy Dow. Not so for his former club, but a little mini triumph for him. 10-8-68 St Kilda. Carlton 8-5-53. Dying stages, third quarter, and that might be a crucial moment for New Farm.
Might be a crucial moment. Now, I reckon we're going to get more crucial moments. It's still going to get a lot closer. Yeah, they've been given the rough end of the pineapple here today, the Blues, but...
So just the way you describe it, do you think that's a correct free kick?
Yeah, I reckon that's a free kick. So the initial contact's great, wraps him up, tackles him, and then throws his knees out to, what do they call that, like a space slam tackle in WWE onto the canvas.
Dow's first game against the Old Mob, and he has inflicted a wound there. Marshall kicks it out of mid-air in the ruck contest. It's been marked by Filippo. Still inside the centre square. He delivers the Saints up into the pockets. Marking contest. It gets off hands to the back where Ollie Hollins will see it over the boundary.
One thing you will notice about the St Kilda forwards, I can't say I've seen Cooper Sharman and Tim Membry both coming out of the goal square, but I can't say I've seen them once fly against each other. There's a good synergy there between the two, an understanding which is working well for them.
A vital minute 45 remains in this term with St Kilda having the ball forward. Nothing initially from the ruck contest. They fight on underneath. Cowans tried to get it to Young. Owens got in the way. He's tackled by Walsh. Ties it up.
So there's an extra at the ball for Carlton. St Kilda are holding their extra. Jack Sinclair way back at the centre of the field.
Marshall toppled in the tackle by Walsh. Ball held up by Newman.
If you just take the bit between the teeth, if I was Jack Sinclair, I would come down to the spine here at the moment. Just might kick a goal that breaks it completely wide open.
It's at Sawston. Newman didn't clear the area. Jones fumbles the hand pass from Owens. It's out of bounds.
75 seconds left in this third quarter.
50 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Margin is 15 points.
That's a win in this quarter by 5 points.
Marshall again hacks it out of mid-air all the way back to the boundary. Now, that he kicked that, he shouldn't really get away with it. You can do it on the punch and the tap. He's kicked that straight back to the boundary. It's been paid as a throw-in rather than insufficient intent. Left half forward for the Saints. It's real combat at the moment. Binns wins it at the stoppage. Got it going forward. Kennedy had to be paid a free kick and was. Fantasia claims the advantage. Beautiful into the open setup. And Kemp on the lead takes the mark.
So that's quick play and low risk of giving the ball up. Pick it up quickly. Recognise you've got one-on-ones ahead. And if you move it quickly with purpose, low darting kicks, you're not going to get picked off in the air. Even though it's a big fella you've kicked it to in Kemp. Just ran the little hook turn on his opponent, Wilkie, who always looks to intercept the long ball towards the goal face. That was well played by Kemp.
Must kick it. First shot at goal today. Brodie Kemp through the 50, in the channel, right foot, drop punts. Yes! Snuck it in at the right-hand post. Back to 9 points. Dying seconds of the third term. 9-5-59 to St Kilda. 10-8-68. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power best on road.
Well, that's one that I reckon Carlton supporters will be grateful for. But when the AFL were making these posts, they didn't say to the producers, put another coat of paint on it for a set shot. It got really close to it. But it was quick ball movement, wasn't it? Just opened up. Now, that type of play never happened in the first half. That's fatigue coming into the game now. It will open up a little bit. Oh, hang on, we could have a 6-6-6 here. Oh, Carlton have just mixed up completely.
Akers has gone to the most defensive part of the square possible for a wingman at the boundary throw. Marshall gets
Wisely
it. Stumping ball inside forward 50. Can't mark Membry. Higgins was dangerous. Still is. Wiedering goes into left hand. He dived on the footy. Got up quickly. There's the siren. And we have got an anxiety-filled grandstand finish coming up here in the final quarter at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda 10-8-68. Carlton 9-5-60. 9-5-59 at three-quarter time.
Multiple goal kickers, 2 for Membry and Wood. Well, for the Blues, it's 2 for Akers. Oh, it's all ahead around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse. The Dogs won by 37. Fremantle and Port Adelaide are waiting their turn. This is AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power best on road.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Host Plus. Host Plus has been named Money Magazine's best super fund for 2024. That's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Check the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au.
That roast chicken? Maybe halal? That snack pack? Yep, halal. Dad's investment portfolio? How on earth would you tell? Talk to Hijaz Financial Services, helping Muslim Australians secure halal super, home loans and investments. Hijaz Financial Services, definitely halal. hijazfs.com.au.
This information is provided by Hijaz Financial Advisors, Pty Ltd, AFSL 517686 and Hijaz Islamic Credit Solutions, Pty Ltd, ACL 480542 and does not take into account your objectives, financial situation or needs.
In footy, you've got one guarantee each week. It's not the win or loss. It's not the coach's spray. And it's not the cry of... It's the 4 and 20 pie. That classic taste of 100% Australian meat in delicious gravy wrapped in golden pastry. Like coming back to win from 10 goals down. Nothing beats the aroma and taste of a 4 and 20 pie. There's a win in every bite. 4 and 20, Australia's original fan food.
The Workside Portaloo. Okay. What better place to head to bizcover.com.au and check out all the ways you could be saving money on your business insurance.
Electrician.
Like your public liability. Because only BizCover lets you compare, save, and get instant cover online, on the go, in minutes.
I can save $400. Oh, woohoo!
You alright, Brad? Check how much a tradie like you could save on your business insurance. For on-the-go cover,
go BizCover.
Hi, it's Shelley Craft. For locally made gift ideas that shine like green and gold, check out Australian Made's top Aussie products. The go-to resource to find the very best Aussie-made goodies. From handcrafted homewares and accessories to innovative Aussie inventions, you'll find a top Aussie product for every occasion. Each one carries the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo, so you can be sure it's genuinely Aussie. Hop to australianmade.com.au/top Aussie and support local while you shop.
The road to the finals was as tough as it gets, but we got there, and we are now the Premiership heroes. How did we do it? Deep heat. It's always got our backs and smells like victory. It was like our 19th player, making teammates stand taller for longer by warming up tight muscles and soothing lingering pain with a deep heat massage. Fast, targeted pain relief from an iconic brand you know and trust. Deep heat. Feel it work. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Oh, what is that? Boys, bring it in! You lot stink worse than Baz's footy bag. Stuff That Matters 72-hour antiperspirant deodorant will fix that. It'll keep you smelling great, and it's in the men's grooming aisle at Woolies. Get around the stuff that matters. Woo!
When you walk into OMF, it's okay to close your eyes. We encourage it, in fact, because all we're suggesting is after you've looked somewhere else, check out our signature range of mattresses, or even OMF's best value bed-in-box mattresses. Come and have a lie down. Simply see how you feel, and then open your eyes and look at the price. You might just see that you'll be 100% comfy.
Ever found yourself daydreaming about serving aces on tennis courts? Scoring goals on footy ovals? Or smashing sixes on cricket pitches? Well, the team at Green Life Group think about it every day, because they're not just sports fans, they're the experts in sports turf management. With over 25 years of industry know-how, GLG gets the game and the desire for the perfect pitch. Their team of professionals knows what it takes to transform your sports grounds. Green Life Group, where excellence meets play. Elevate your game at glgcorp.com.
Kickstart your fitness journey with Snap Fitness. Join now for just $4 per week for the first 4 weeks. Enjoy premium gyms and equipment to support your fitness goals. Snap Fitness, your fitness journey starts here. T's and C's apply. Participating clubs only.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Tyre Power, kicking goals with Kumo Tyres, and 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food.
Clark, eager to get it on. He plays it out the fat side. Higgins will run onto it. Higgins on the move, flings himself around the corner and kicks the goal. And the Saints have a 20-point lead.
Ball will go out wide to Binns, who keeps on running. Runs through the logo, out of sight of Marvel. Now goes low and strong. Kemp comes at it, can't take the mark, brings it to ground level. Fantasia spins out. He needs the bounce now. He needs the bounce! It's the best passage of play for the Blues today, and they stay alive.
Macca's, I'm loving it moments. The new quarter pounder range at Macca's.
If ever there was a moment to dial up the emotion, Dermot Brereton, it is now. Carlton down by 9 points at the final change in front of their home fans with a place in the finals on the line.
I must say, I've never bought into the Carlton thing, but
come on,
it's bloody exciting, Murray. Your back's against the wall here. You're playing for your season.
Kick the first, unleash the full power of the environment. Into the final term we go. Carlton kicking to the right as we look at it. Ruckman shoulder to shoulder. Pitnet wins the first tap. Out in front of Cripps. Hand pass to Walsh. Gives it to Newman at half-back. Trying to get it back to Pitnet. Cleared the way for Walsh. Walsh threw it onto the boot. Got it going forward. Durden made the contest and stayed in it. He's winged his nursing one arm underneath. He's dragged to ground by Webster. He holds it up.
Yeah, he had the option of going in harder and being banged up more, but it was Jack Steele coming the other way.
Tap comes the way of Hewitt, wrenches it clear, gave it to Newman, kick cut off by Sinclair. Has it at the defensive 50 for the Saints. Sinclair out the far side, Owens to the bouncing ball. Cowan confronted him, forced the kick down the line and forced the turnover as a result. Young marked, gave it to Walsh, off to Hewitt, up now to Elijah Hollins. Kicks the Blues up to half forward. Bit of a stumble inside by Kennedy. Durden again made the contest bravely. Kennedy's onto the hard one footy. Hand pass to Akers, took an awkward bounce. Has it in hand, nurses it for Kemp. Spoil made over the top by Wilkie. Owies has it momentarily. Gives it to Kemp. From 50, steers to the top of the square. Durden has it. Elijah Hollins onto his boots. Missed narrowly near side. Down by 8 points.
But the great thing for Carlton at the moment is the ball is pinging around when it's going inside there. It doesn't have hang time, air time on it, so that Wilkie and Big Dougal can pick the ball off in the air.
Turn for MEGT. Sinclair to bring it back. He goes short pocket, outer side of the ground to Howard.
So that's the second time already Sinclair's gone desperately short in a slow play. If they decide we're going to go into a little bit of a conservative mode here, so Carlton will overrun him.
Moyer's on the ground, so he was manning the mark there. So Carlton have made the sub.
Carroll.
Hollins comes in, wraps him up. Umpire let him play. Ball comes out, Webster. Umpire lets him play as another St Kilda play dispossessed. Hollins gets the crumb. High ball inside forward 50. Moyer comes to the contest. Ball hits the deck. Spits out, stays alive. Carlton plays tackling like men possessed. It doesn't come out. And we'll have a ball up 30 out from the Blues goal.
Yeah, Jack Carroll subbed out of the game. He's got the red line, red ink through him.
So Marshall gets there late, up against Cripps, wins it comfortably to Steele, did beautifully, gets it to Jones, underground handball to Garcia, who gets his first touch of it. Saints thump it out to defensive 50. Newman goes up, can't mark. Carlton got numbers around the footy. Wiedering was cool, doesn't use it all that well. Ball spits out, stays alive. St Kilda are dangerous. Membry gets it, lays the handball off to Sharman. Brilliant tackle by Sard. Blues turn it over. Hewitt's got the footy.
Tremendous stuff from Sard. Hewitt kept it going. Blues looking to build on the outer side. Mark taken by Elijah Hollins. He'll wind it up to full forward. Kemp got hands to it, dropped it. Tackles Wilkie all the way down. It'll be a ball up.
Oh, he got that. He got the mitts around that. He actually moved to that beautifully, Kemp. He's starting to get into the game. He's getting to the footy.
Pitnet clean out of the ruck to Akers. The snap is no good. It's near side. Blues are down by 7 on the Deutz Far Tractors scoreboard.
Oh, the boy Garcia, he had Tim Membry on over the top on the outer wing and just elected to bomb long under pressure mentally to a 3v1 and Carlton win the ball back at half-back. Got to use it more wisely.
AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power again. Wanganeen Miller goes short.
Yeah, so this tells me they've almost gone into, not full on, but just a little bit of protection mode here.
Webster down the line. Newman comes off. That was very close to being over the line. The umpire said Mason Wood got hands on it just before it did cross the line.
Andy, no matter how much you put the emphasis into very close, you will not get that as an out in the full.
Ball thrown in Dermot. Marshall and Pitnet. Umpire lets him play. Durden crashes through. keeps the footy in front. Wrapped up, stays alive in the contest, gets to his feet, tries to get it out. It does come out to Dow. Quick check side, down the line he goes. Coming up hard was Membry. Young did well. Membry's second effort was outstanding. Gets it to Jones, cuts inboard. Lovely kick. Finds his man Garcia, who plays on quickly. He's got Hill on the fat side again. Goes out to him in a bit of space. Binns tries to cut him down. Hill goes to the top of the square. Got a man open. Sard goes back with a flight of the ball. And for the second time this quarter thwarts what might have been a telling moment for St Kilda. Ball out of bounds, we'll have a throw in.
Yeah, Higo identified the only place he could go where the kick could make him was deep into that pocket and hold space. He just willed that ball to get there quicker, though.
And now to defend. Marshall tried the hack out of midair again. Didn't quite work this time. Binns played for the free kick. Sard clears the area. Bouncing ball. Awkward ball beyond the 50. Blues free kick. And it is coming back to Elijah Hollins.
Size difference. Won him that ball against Brad Hill. Swing claws on. Just the smaller man.
For a target, none of which is really forthcoming. So long down the side of the centre square. Cripps presented. Wanganeen Miller made the spoil. Webster got it going the Saints' way. Wanganeen Miller onto it. Gives it to Jones and around to Owens, who plays it wide to Hill. As a forward of halfway on the wing.
Got Wiedering and Lewis Young behind the footy.
Kicking ball to Wanganeen Miller. Saints are up by 7.
Wiedering's just trailing around behind Tim Membry. Membry will try and take him away.
Wanganeen Miller plays it up into the pocket. They fly, no mark, off hands, out of play. About 35 around from the St Kilda goal front. We've played 6 minutes in this final term on the Deutz Far Tractors scoreboard.
No one's left this stadium. Edge of the seat stuff. Ball thrown in. Marshall does well, drops it down. Dow's first one onto it. In fact, it might have been Garcia. Gets it to Wood. Hit hard. Dispossessed. Turnovers on. Cowan's got to be good. Threads his way through a couple of tacklers. Out to Binns. The kick out to Akers, and Walsh was very good under real pressure. Walsh has got a bit of space now. The bounce comes back to him. Sweeping handball to Moyer's got to be clean. Hit hard by Howard, who went right through the middle of the young blue, and he wins the free kick.
Good lad, he's bounced up.
He goes down the line quickly to Elijah Hollins. Needs a bounce, gets it. Webster with him. Hard up against the boundary line. Comes in, ball looks through. Moyer goes up. Good hands, almost took the mark. Pitnet's got to wrap his man up. He does. That's Wood, and it doesn't come out. Edge of the square. We'll have another ball up.
How good was the boy Moyer then? He got steamrolled, and he just jumped straight back up after receiving the free kick.
Ball thrown up. 2v1. Walsh out to Ollie Holland. Spins out of the tackle. Did beautifully. Wiedering saw his man Durden. 2 kicks from home. Finds him.
Marshall's 50 metres between Durden and the goals.
We go short to Akers. No point bombing into all that tall timber that Dermott was talking about. That's what Blake Akers does now, however. Has he got anyone there? Kent comes from 3 deep, brings it to ground level. Butler goes through, misses the handball. Carlton have got numbers around the footy. So have the Saints now. They shut it down. We'll have a ball up, 20 out from the Carlton goal. St Kilda 10-8-68. Carlton 9-7-61. Deutz Far Tractors scoreboard.
Blues pushing hard in the pockets. Marshall knocks it out toward the boundary. Steele threw it up. No kick for Wood. Throw it in.
Now, this is really interesting now when you've got Steele v Cripps at this end of the ground. Cripps, just loves these types of moments, and Steele's got to go with him now, play more of a negating role than him attacking the ball role.
At the throw in, Marshall wins the tap. Wood fumbled the footy. Webster's job to clear the area. Didn't get a whole lot on it. Scramble for the contest out the 50. Saints had a couple of touches. Akers cut it off. Couldn't do anything with a kick though. And Wilson and Garcia are both there. Garcia will take the free kick. He kicks the Saints up to halfway. Wiedering had the fly at the pack. Chincotta underneath didn't quite gather. Wiedering forged it on only as far as Jones, though. Filippo's kick slewed off the side of the boot. And it'll be thrown in right in front of the interchange bench for Spitwater. High pressure washes. It's the Saints by 7.
So if you look to the left of the screen now, you see Tim Membry's already backdoored Jacob Wiedering. He's so clever. He made that ground ball happen, and he's already forward of the footy.
9.5 gone final quarter. Sinclair slaps it on his boot up towards half forward. Ball pitches. Higgins was good. Brilliant handball to Clark. He goes out the back. Young's got to stand up. Wiedering goes through. Ball spits free. Mason Wood had another look at it. Carlton have got to be desperate. Wiedering's quick kick was poor. Cut off by Darcy Wilson, who'll go back.
You called it poor, Andy. It was under extreme pressure, and he had to make up his mind in a millisecond what he wanted to do. He got turned in the tackle, and he looked for width. That's the only thing he could do. Just look to get it wider.
So Wilson with a telling kick right now. He'll kick from 40 out on a 45-degree angle. It's a good-looking drop punt. It just drifts right to left and misses narrowly to the near side. So Carlton breathe again. 10-9-69 the Saints. Carlton 9-7-61. Deutsch Far Tractors scoreboard.
The whole environment deserves St Kilda's season to be on the line as well, not Fremantle's on the other side of the country. So Newman has the kick-in duties, and he's going to take distance. He needs Pitnet against Marshall. Pitnet had to go the spoil when the moment happened. Walsh is tackled to ground by Clark, a ball up.
I would say in this last 12 minutes of the season, the thing that stands between Carlton and securing a spot in the 8 is Rowan Marshall.
Pitnet works it out the side. Ollie Hollands onto it. Hand pass to Cripps under enormous pressure. Good job by Lord to get it to Walsh. Up to halfway. Motlop cleared the way. Opens it up for Moyer. Clever hand pass inside. Elijah Hollands trickles it on. Motlop had to be clean. He was not clean enough. Wilson inserted himself into it. Hand passed out to Burns. Harassed by Motlop. Got it off to Clark though. And the Saints are able to, well, they're only going to get out of momentary danger. Kennedy marked the steal kick. Brings it back inboard to Lord. Wants a target up near the 50. Cripps against Jones. Cripps pushed Jones away. Ball gets to the back. Cripps is nursing his right shoulder in the aftermath as the ball skittles out over the boundary.
He's been carrying that all day, I reckon.
I think he's been carrying it all year and most of the career.
So 50 out from Carlton's goal. Kennedy up against Marshall, who just stood in the front, dropped it down. Walsh read it. Tried to come through. Butler wrapped up by Walsh. Higgins had half a look. Akers goes in, dispossesses him. Ollie Hollands steps around his man into the pocket. Moyer tries to get to front position at 3v2. Kemp flew. Good defensive stuff from Howard. Gets it to Jones. Handball to Wilson. Around the body. High ball outside defensive 50. Young with a fist. Hits the deck. Coming hard at it is Lord. And Butler was good stuff. Wilson stepped through a tackle. Beautifully done. Drop punt out of defensive 50 again. Membry can't mark. Higgins at ground level. Wrapped up by Owies. Umpire said holding the footy. And Membry wants to go on with it for some reason. And he want to be careful right now because the 50, as he crossed the mark, could easily have been applied.
There's a bit of a head.
Both arms pinned his head into the turf.
His kick inboard's an absolute shocker. Wiedering's got to be at his best here. Membry comes hard at him, wraps him up, feels to the foot. It was a terrible kick by Owies.
How good is the desperation of Tim Membry in the back half of this season?
Ball up at centre half forward for the Saints.
They lead it by 8. Carlton trying everything at the moment. Marshall wins it down to Garcia, off to Sinclair. Slapped over the head by Butler, didn't work. Newman was there and waiting for it. He releases Ollie Hollands. Kicks the Blues down the wing. Akers presented. Motlop's got to keep it going forward, and he does. Up to Owies. Sweeps it on to Garcia. He should steady and goal. He steadies and goes.
Kids having a say.
Stayed alive. Garcia goes from 40, had the nerve for it. They're down by 2. Moyer goes from 40, they're down by 2. 10-9-69 to Carlton 10-7-67.
I'm looking at him and he's listed at 188. He's big. When he comes at the footy, he gets what they call big.
Yep.
He's playing bigger than what he is.
He's got vertical.
Yeah, Dougal Howard's on him and he's just He's big enough to trouble him, but he's agile enough to get away from Dougal and make Dougal look like he doesn't want to be chasing a bloke that agile.
It took 15 minutes for the first goal of the term.
Oh, this is a good game.
He kicked a spectacular goal first up last week. That one had such a loading on it. It was an easier kick. But what a finish from the teenager. Back in the middle we go. Kennedy up against Sharman. Ground level Clark gets it. Runs into some space. Wheels around his body up towards half forward. Newman goes back. Can't mark. Everything's tough now. Wood slips, he kicks. Top of the square. Young brings it to ground level. Wiedering's in front. Free kick going to be Lewis Young's. Shepherd in the marking contest, said the umpire.
He was appealing, thinking it was against him. What have I done wrong, umpire?
He's actually done a reasonable job on Mitch Owens in the contest. So he gives the handball to Saad. Has a bounce. Runs himself into a bit of pressure. Goes on his left now. Just hacks it around the body. Kicks for space. Kennedy up. Can't mark. Walsh has tried hard all day. Around his body. Wangan and Miller are tracking him. Back all the way to Saad. He chips it into the corridor. Finds Young. Young, what's he going to do, Louis? Can be a bit wobbly with footy in hand. Pokes it into space. Saad's got a task now. Handballs to himself. Goes back and gets the footy. Takes 3 on. Looks for Law to go straight at the footy. Free kick again.
That's a free kick to Sardi, isn't it? Downfield. He got taken away after the handball.
Yep.
Cripps is on the bench trying to signal somebody to get off. Gets on eventually. Comes back on. He won't be coming off again in the last 9 minutes.
So Saad's in the hands of the trainers. A little bit worse for wear. I wish they made that hard. Lord has it at half back with the relayed free kick, which was relayed about a metre.
Which doesn't really help all that much because it turns into a static play.
St Kilda by 2. Blues bring it down the wing. Kemp arrives and takes the mark. Tumbles over in the aftermath.
That's the first time he's outplayed.
Got to use it well. Hand passes it away. Fantasia up to the teeth of goal. Numbers against Moyer. Ball hits the ground. Hill pursues. Durden's after him. Hill's kicked it high on the way out. Newman takes the mark. 60 from goal. He's watching and waiting. The deep targets are Moyer, Kemp and Kennedy, and that's where the kick is going. They fly. Off hands it goes. Ball bobbles around for a moment or two. Tackles are laid and the ball held up. It's handed up to the ump, 25 metres out from goal. Cripps is doing the ruck work. Sharman makes the spoil. Underneath, Lord kicks at goal. It's marked on the goal line. Not a square to spare as Howard takes the mark.
Oh, dearie me. It's a silly game. Howard on literally the last line. So he comes to the members' side of the ground. 2 points the margin. Cripps, Saad up against Sharman. Sharman fought the good fight. Ground level Butler couldn't take it with him. Saad's recovered. Goes out the back to Hewitt. Ducks one way then the other. Gets around Higgins. Lays the handball off to Walsh. Gives it to Lewis Young. Comes back to Hewitt, who stood and lost everybody. Around the body he goes. Up towards Owies. Ball bounces. Coming out at it is Wilkie. High ball, nondescript. Hewitt's underneath it. Dow took his eyes off the ball. Shepherded him away. That'll be the free kick. Fantasia takes the advantage. Drives it in towards the top of the square. Coming out at it was Howard. Ball spits out to Wilson. Loves to run. Has a bounce. Does what he needed to do and finds Owens on the outer side of the ground. Down the line he goes. St Kilda have got out here. They find Membry wing position outer side of the ground.
Sprinted from this wing to the other when he saw the ball travel through the defensive goal. So that is such hard work.
7 minutes left. Saints by 2 points. Membry kicks up to half forward. Wiedering's got the fly and Young as well, and Young takes the mark. Hand passes out the back to Ollie Hollins. He'll find Chincotta. Chincotta's got runners inside. He uses Lord. Lord will bring them up to half forward. Cripps presents. Even numbers at full forward. Cripps, will he trust them? He's going to set it up. 20 out. Low down. Kemp can't mark. Paddles in front of himself. Hand passed over his head. Hoping. Fantasia. Motlop. Goal! Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? It's Carlton by 4 points with 6 minutes left. 11-7-73 to St Kilda, 10-9-69.
Don't go to Andy Marr. He's crying.
Not yet, Dermot.
It's just the emotions that they're taking you on for a ride. Once again, Fantasia, low position player, but his ability to draw the tackler towards him, put Motlop into space, just game knowledge in the moment.
AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and tyre power. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you're listening to us in the stadium, sinking at home, in the car, through the headsets, it's a grandstand finish. The Blues have got their nose in front. They're 4 points up. We know what's on the line. Dow gets it. Hacks it out of the stoppage. Ball in dispute. 2B1. Over the top goes Filippo. Farms it out. Hewitt gets the footy, however. Dispossessed. It was good stuff by Wilson. Carlton come again. Hewitt didn't give up on the footy. Picked up by Binns. Hacks it forward. Sinclair's been magnificent again today. Marks at centre-half back. Goes short to Hunter Clark. He's got one out the back as well. It's Butler. Runs to half forward. He's got one over the top. Gives the handball. It was a slow one. Found its way out eventually. Toe poked off the ground. Back to Wilson. Hacking it around the body. No one can mark. Carlton stay in. Shepherd. They took Hollins off the footy. Butler didn't have eyes for it. And the umpire pays it to the Carlton winger, who goes across the goal they're defending and finds Jacob Wiedering. He goes back to where that footy came from.
The emotion, the atmosphere makes it feel like we're in the last minute. There's still 5.5 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time. The Saints just need to make some right decisions. They've made 2 or 3 really bad ones in the last 60 seconds.
Wiedering kicks it out of defence. Pitnet's got to make the contest. He's tried to knock it on. Marshall against the flow. Fed it around to Dow. Got it off to Garcia. St Kilda back inside 50. Blues with the numbers. Young rises and takes the mark. He will kick to the defensive goal square. Akers has it. Brings it out the near side. Sweeping ball for Newman. Newman's got the run of Ollie Hollins. He slips the hand pass there. Hollins is trying to get it to Moyer, who's had a big impact. He's got it right on halfway.
If you get through, Andy, he's not starting on the bench next week.
He shouldn't have started there today, didn't he?
Moyer, hand pass to Akers, the link man, sends it up inside 50, off hands to the boundary. Kemp didn't keep it in. Crowd is posted at 43,843. Carlton lead it by 4 points with 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining.
Being urged on by the home crowd. They came here not knowing what to expect today. They knew it was going to be a fight, and that's what it's proven to be. Clark can't take the footy with him. Garcia hacks it out of there. Young and Owens. Umpire lets them play. Owens better once the ball hit the deck. Young stays with him. Owens' kick was quick. Newman read it off the boot beautifully. Doubled back to the footy quicker than Higgins did. Takes the mark called to play on. Has to handball it back to Lewis Young. Now we just go down the line. Jones favoured by the kick through his hands. Cripps weaves his way through. Gets the handball to Hewitt. Goes backwards. Had to find someone. Hollins was there to get him. Ollie gets it to Sard. In good hands. Comes inboard to Elijah. Hewitt in the middle of the Marvel Stadium. Takes his time. Out towards Lockie Cowan. Defensive side of centre wing. Outer side of Marvel Stadium. Comes back inboard to Ollie Hollins, who's worked extremely hard today. He goes short to Newman, who marks. So they're in possession mode here, but as Derm said, there's a long, long way to go here. The Blues by 4 points. Newman goes long and strong. Cripps works his way to the front. Can't take the mark, did everything but. Then tried to farm it through to Akers. Off hands, out of bounds, let it throw in. Kick and a half out, 2 kicks out from Carlton's goal. It's the Blues 11-7-73, St Kilda 10-9-69. Deutz Fahrt Tractors scoreboard.
Time on for Selade. Seconds can be the difference between life and death. Make a difference with Selade. At the throw-in, Pitnet tapped it down to the front. Jones ripped off it by Motlop. Walsh takes the footy, kicks for Cam, but No, not quite. Underneath Moyer. Holding free kick. Kemp's ball.
Was the fat side lead once again. Josh Battle chases him out, makes the initial spoil, but then Kemp has a play at his own crumb to get the second bite and the mark. And Memory just wraps the arm around to make... Josh Battle wraps the arm around the waist just to make sure he doesn't get a play on it. It's enough for the umpire to say, here, take a freebie.
Brodie Kemp, the makeshift full forwards. Carlton's finals fate in his hands, and he's blazed it right and through from behind. He's left it on the table. It's awesome. 5 points the difference with 2:10 remaining.
And they can travel it from one end to the other.
It's in good hands. Sinclair, no short ball option this time. Thumps it out of defensive 50 up towards centre wing position in a heartbeat. Ball at ground level. Jones gets the handball to Wanganeen Millerer. Got a man over the top. How costly is that miss going to be? Back to Wanganeen Millerer. Runs to 49. Chips it into the corridor. Filippo all on his own marks. 35 out directly in front.
Oh, what a kick for this young man. What pressure on him.
So Kemp misses from similar territory 45 seconds ago to just about seal it for the Blues. Filippo from a similar range to rip it away from them one more time. In he comes, 40 out, kick on its way. He has missed.
1 minute 15 on the clock. 75 seconds for Carlton to negotiate with a 4-point lead.
11-8-74. St Kilda 10-10-70. Jared Waitley.
Season lived for the vast majority in the 8. Has to be banked in the last minutes. They've kicked it in successfully. Ollie Hollands to Akers. It has the clock ticking with 60 seconds remaining. Akers is committed to the long kick down the line. Pitnet and Marshall will be there. Wilkie as well. Wilkie with the fist. Underneath, Cripps laid the tackle. Pinned an arm. Forced the ball up. Steele hands it up to the ump.
49 seconds on the clock.
Still in St Kilda territory at the ball up. Up she goes. Pitnet, Hill on the fly. Hand passes it inboard. Kept it going. The Saints work it on. Filippo took the tackle. Good stern tackle too from Akers, who dragged him out over the boundary.
50 out from the St Kilda goal. Wilkie sets the anchor point 40 metres off the footy. Everybody else is behind it or around it. Ball thrown in. Marshall and Pitnet. Marshall drops it down. Steele wrapped up by Pitnet's not coming out with the ball up.
Semi-sling on the tackle.
You're worried about everything now, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
He's the one. Marshall could make something happen here.
Pitnet Marshall again. Drops down to their feet. Marshall lays it off to Burns. Quick hacking ball in towards full forward. Akers goes back. Ball hits the deck. Frantic stuff. Jones farms it out. Higgins around the body. Hooking. Goal! He's kicked the goal!
He runs half a lap of the ground like Ronaldo in a World Cup. The Saints chase him. That could be, and he's kicked some clangers, that could be the best goal of that man's career. What a snap. A 2-point lead to the Saints. Carlton have 12 seconds to rectify their season.
You get to the goal line for a look at it. It floats and it floats and it's beyond the line.
The Marshall tap out, put it into space, put it to advantage, and that kick goes deep inside forward 50.
So 12 seconds to win it. Carlton have lived this fate before. Bounce in the middle. Pitnet tried to hack it off the turf. Hewitt towed it forward. Sinclair cut it off, didn't take possession. Hewitt's got it, gives it up. Elijah Holland's kick is smothered by Jones. Cowan tumbles it inside the 50 and the siren is the ultimate curse for Carlton. St Kilda steal it at the death. They celebrate as if they have made the finals. But it's Carlton who must now endure the torture of what is about to unfold in the West to see if they will play finals in 2024. It's ghastly.
Oh, Andy Marr, there was so many ifs. And I will go back to Blake Acres' kick down the line. Jared, you called it. He committed to the kick down the line. Nick Newman was 15 metres sideways to him, instructing players to pull away. They wouldn't. He needed to chip it sideways to him. And then you can take another 8 seconds off the clock as you go back behind the mark. There are so many ifs in that last 75 seconds.
And they simply don't know whether there's a tomorrow or not. St Kilda 11-10-76 defeat Carlton 11-8-74. The Saints led at every change by 5, 10, 9 and 2 after being headed with 6 minutes to play and pinching it back with 12 seconds remaining. For the winners, Higgins, Membry and Wood kicked 2 apiece. There were singles to Jones, Burns, Dow, Marshall and Filippo. For Carlton, Akers kicked 2 and 1 each to Motlop, Fantasia, Carroll, Kemp, Binns, Pitnet, Hewitt, Moyer and Owies. 43,840 were here to see it as the Saints down the Blues by 2 points. Dermot Burton for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship experts.
How do you split them in the game like that? How do you say this is where they won it? You just can't. I mean, that game goes another 15, 20 seconds. The result flips again. It was a great contest. I'm trying to look through some of the data here thanks to Hijaz Halal Financials, and even the shots at goal. 22 shots to the Blues from all their inside 50s. The Saints, 23 shots. The one shot that got them across the line, the one extra shot is that one that put them ahead. That's a freakish end to that season, and the Saints will now go into pre-season believing that they can build on the back half of this season.
Absolutely they can and will and should. You know, it's a funny, I mean, Howard takes the mark, a step in from the line 5 minutes before the final siren, and Higgins is... This game was a game played on the margin, wasn't it? Right from the get-go today. And I think for much of the day, we felt like St Kilda was playing the better football. They were sort of chaining it up a bit better than Carlton.
Give or take. The one thing I'd say is that, and you can't bank it, but something about Carlton and that small forward line, they get more emotion into their footy than just about anyone when it's going their way. And that final quarter, the lad who came on, Ashton Moyer, he's a bloody exciting prospect.
Yeah, but poor old Brodie Kemp's going to be having trouble getting to sleep tonight, I would have thought, if the result doesn't go their way in Perth. And Kemp's going to be thinking about that set shot for quite a while, I think.
That's what I said. That's a massive loss to them when he kick it out in the full. And that way you're logged into one side of the ground and the opposition, and you can defend it. But when you kick a point, the Saints have the whole range of the field ahead of them.
And it was in the right hands. Well, Jack Sinclair, it was a 90-metre ball into play.
And when they're behind, you know they're going to take the riskiest option and show valour with their ball movement. So it was a dramatic loss. I'm not putting it on the kid, but that was a moment.
Yeah, it was, no doubt. I mean, he kicks that goal with, I don't know what was left on the clock. You got 4 minutes and
they win. It was even less.
Even less than that, wasn't it?
They played a brilliant last quarter, Carlton.
They did.
It counts for nothing once all the sums are done. But when it was there and it had to be won, they dominated the last quarter. So St Kilda edged definitely the middle 2 quarters. But Carlton were all over them in the last quarter.
Well, they only kicked one goal, the Saints, in the final quarter. And that was the snap that won them the game. What did they go, 14 minutes before a goal was kicked in the final quarter?
Yep. Yeah, so 2-1 for the final term, and I know St Kilda supporters will say that, you know, the Filippo miss squared up but if Kemp kicks the goal, then everything changes, doesn't it?
The Filippo miss was after the Kemp miss.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I reckon that game's killed if
I think you're
he
right.
does. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a tough one.
We'll hark back to this in a few years' time and say, remember the final game with him? And you'll go, no, I've erased it from the memory.
They've got the Elliott moment and now the Higgins moment to sort of haunt them at the final hurdle, don't they? The Blues and the Blues fans.
Yeah, so they'll look at that. They'll look at the Higgins goal and they'll see, was it 2 or 3 sort of possessions, give or take, whatever you want to call them, that got the footy out to Higgins, who was the last one out and had the room to swing around and kick at goal as St Kilda come off the ground. But they'll be thinking, how could he have found the 1.5 metre to be where he was to receive it? How do we not get a smother on that kick? How do we let him balance up, even though it was
He didn't balance up. That's what made it a great snap.
Play. Yeah, that's right.
It was. Take nothing away from Jack Higgins, and I'm a bit of a critic of his, but for some of the attitudes he has to football. But that was a glorious snap.
Absolutely,
goal. That's his. How many games has Higo played? What's he
122 today.
122. I would say that is probably his best moment in AFL football.
We're about to have the Saints song here.
Just a couple of technical issues down there in the St Kilda rooms.
Pedal faster, Murray.
So the Saints have won by 2 points.
There it is.
St Kilda by 2 points, 11-10-76 over Carlton, 11-8-74. So the Blues sit in 8th with a percentage of 110.2. They're on 52 points and they await the Fremantle game. So if the Dockers win, they'll replace Carlton in the 8th. They'd go to 54 points. So the equation is as simple as the win-loss for Fremantle to claim their place. I wonder if they were tuned out, tuned in, being kept vaguely aware. You'd use it now, just before you send them out to play.
So, there's the two sides of that, isn't there? Port Adelaide can't really move anywhere, I don't think. I think they're stuck.
So Port, if they lost by 23 points or more, they would concede a home final to Geelong.
So they just need to be competitive.
So they've got to be within 4 goals.
So they hold an exact 2 percentage points on the Cats, both on 60 points. So that's a 4-goal swing, is it? To eradicate that.
Given an equation of 23 points. So it's all variable in the points that are scored and against, but 23 is the margin that you're looking at. Our post-game show is for deep heat, fast targeted pain relief. Feel it work. The St Kilda celebrations for Tobin Brothers Funeral, celebrating lives every day of the year. It is funny how a team can take on a sense of purpose in a game. They've come home 8-4, so they've had a good back half of the season, but today they really took on their role and they felt it intensely at the end and what they were doing.
Well, an undermanned Carlton, as what we've called them in the recent weeks, they really did take it to them in the last quarter. They outplayed St Kilda. St Kilda hung on. They played some exciting footy. They took the ball off the line. The one that makes me think about it was, remember when Kemp ran up the wing to actually be, for one of the few times, a link player to the back line, and he darted back into the edge of the centre square and took an overhead mark. That was the first time he outplayed Wilkie for the day. So they got braver. There's no way you'd normally take that on a ball travelling that distance, somebody playing against Callum Wilkie, because you turn that over, they go straight to goal. But they got a bit braver. They got a bit sharper. They got a bit quicker with the ball travelling through the air. He had a good moment then. And that was symbolic of the way they played that final quarter. They needed an extra score somewhere in those 15-8 inside 50s in the first quarter. They just needed one extra score there. which might have been able to hold them through to the final quarter. So we can look at those last few moments, and yes, they have an enormous bearing on the game, but some of those things you say, if the first half and bravery with the ball and better decision with the ball, yeah, they'll rue those opportunities.
Echoes of the past is 2 years ago when Collingwood did it to Carlton. It was 75-74, and today it's 76-74.
Wow. No way.
The spookiness of it all. Have you got a forever young player of the day? One of the ones over 30 who did the business, damn it.
You like Nick Newman, Murray?
He
Is he over 30?
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
Oh, word he is.
Tobin Brothers Funeral celebrating lives every day of the year. Ollie Hollands ran the most kilometres. Kick back and relax with an adjustable bed from Australian designed and owned OMF 15.1. Got an Australian made smart play by Australian made and support authentic Aussie makers.
Jeepers, I'm still enraptured in the in the final quarter.
What about Sinclair?
Help me out here,
What about
Murray?
Sinclair? Knowing the moment needed something different. They'd been going short from kick in all last quarter. Sinclair decides, the clock probably predicated it, but long, strong, down the line, spits out. That's probably it.
Yeah, he took that moment.
By authentically Australian made. The goal of the day for Corteva Paradigm Aralex Active Herbicide, reliable wide spectrum weed control in cereals. That's clearly the winner from Jack Higgins. It's also the Bendix Brakes big moment. Put your foot down with confidence, Bendix Brakes. The unmissable moment for Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise. Is Moyer's goal, which put Carlton in front. It was unmissable at the time. It gets usurped at the end. Choose to drink wise. So what are your votes, Dermot? These are important player of the year for TR Group, commercial truck and trailer, rental and lease.
Good luck. Go with this.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Well, I will preface it and say I didn't think Cripper was best on ground, and he had a man pressing on him in the first half, but I'll go one vote to Cripper. I'm going to go.
Good luck.
Jeepers Christ,
It's very hard.
I think I'm almost going to get 2 votes. Oh, look.
It's very hard.
I'll be going 2 votes to Jack Sinclair.
Yep.
And I'll go 3 votes to. I didn't think I'd ever give it to this style player, but Wanganeen Malira's ball use I thought was awesome. I could toss those 2 around, perhaps Sinclair and Wanganeen Malira. I just thought his ability to retain usage of the footy for his team. But there was jeepers. I'd like to give 8 one-voters, if that's all right. I don't think anybody was a standout more than a one-voter.
Wanganeen Miller, the player fans will fall in love with. Shop Barbecues Galore's epic Father's Day deals now online and in-store now at barbecuesgalore.com.au. Our post-game show for Deep Heat, fast-targeted pain relief. Feel it work. St Kilda have beaten Carlton by 2 points, and thus the vigil turns out west for the Dockers to claim the last place in the 8.